Alright, in this quick video I just want to show you the Google keyword tool so you can get additional keyword ideas. And so I usually just go to Google, type in Google keyword tool, and it's the first one here at the top. I'll click on that. And here we go. It's going to bring up the Google AdWords keyword tool. And typically it will ask you to enter some little, if you're not signed into your Google account, it'll tell you to enter some little caption code here, but I already did that previously, so we're good to go. So you just type in your keyword here. I'll type in Reno chiropractor, okay, and I'll hit search, and it'll bring up a whole list of keyword ideas here. Now again, this tool, it's pretty generic and will come up with a lot of generic keywords. Most of them you've heard of before, but it's always good to just kind of do this and spot check and make sure it has all the keywords that you're really looking for. So when I type this in here, Reno chiropractor, you'll see it brings up a whole long list here. Reno chiropractors, chiropractor Reno, Reno chiropractic. A lot of these I already have. This just one has Reno NV chiropractor. I don't think I put the NV in mine. Chiropractic adjustment. Back pain Reno. So again, remember I told you we want to start with a very focused campaign. So quite frankly, I feel like the campaign we already created for the chiropractors has all our top very specific keywords in it. So I wouldn't really want to add too much more to it just for the first week or two. I just want to see how much traffic I get the first week. Now if I don't get a lot of traffic in the first week, then I might come back and start adding back doctor or back pain Reno, as you see some of these keyword ideas here. But I would not start off with back pain Reno or back doctor at first, because I just think that a lot of times if you use the keyword doctor, you might get all the other doctors in town also bidding on that keyword, which creates a lot more competition and a higher cost per click, and the lead might not be as good of a quality. So again, I really would kind of keep it really focused, but this is a really good thing to just look through here and kind of see if you get any other kind of keyword ideas here. It also will tell you how many estimated searches they think that it gets here, and obviously the only one that matters to you would be the local monthly searches, not the global monthly searches, and actually it would be even less than the local monthly searches, because this is in the entire United States, the local monthly searches, so it would be less than that. Well, actually, no, depending on what the keyword is, like Reno chiropractic, probably only people in Reno are typing that in. So this would probably be a pretty accurate number of searches. But don't worry too much about the searches. Really here, you're just looking for keyword ideas. So look for any new keywords that we haven't put in there already. And let's say you find a couple. Let's say you say, okay, chiropractic adjustment. I think we actually added that after we had the suggestion from the Google inside the campaign. Family chiropractic, okay? Let's say we wanted to add those. Basically, what you would just do is I'd probably go back to the Google AdWords keyword tool here again, and where it says enter keywords, it still has my keywords from previous that I had. So I would go here and let's say family chiropractic. Okay, then I'd go back to the next ideas. I keep looking. Wellness chiropractic. Okay, maybe I'll add wellness chiropractic. Wellness, that's a pretty good one. Chiropractic. Okay. Davis chiropractic, chiropractic care, chiropractic clinics. Okay, chiropractic clinic, that's a pretty good one. I'll add that one, chiropractic clinic. Okay, so I think you get the point here. Really, this Google keyword tool is just a way to get some new keywords that you might not have seen or might not have thought of beforehand. And again, just be really careful. Don't go too broad. Again, now this is a good one, back pain chiropractor. So that's a good one that we didn't have in there. I remember, I don't want back doctor, and I don't just want back pain. But if it's back pain chiropractor, all in the same kind of phrase there, then that's okay too. So I might add that to my keyword list. Then again, I would do the wrap keywords, and it would wrap my keywords here with the AdWords wrapper. It would wrap my keywords. I would just copy and paste them again, grab it from the phrase and exact match, copy and paste it, and put it into my AdWords account. So no need to go on too long about this, I don't think. I think basically you understand the Google keyword tool here just kind of gives you some good different keyword ideas. And you might want to play around with it here. If I type in Sparks chiropractor, okay, and see what kind of ideas it comes up for me. Now, what's good about this is there's two reasons for keyword ideas here. Number one, there's keyword ideas to see what keywords you want to add, but there's also for what you want to add as a negative keyword. Okay, so again, remember as we said, chiropractor websites. That's probably a chiropractor looking for a chiropractor website. You don't want to bid on other chiropractors searching for a website, so that could be a negative keyword. And we'll discuss more negative keywords again in the upcoming video. But I think you get the point here. just to kind of get an idea of how to use this Google keyword tool. Really, really self-explanatory, really simple. You just type it in there and just see if there's any keywords here that you haven't thought of on your own that you want to add to your campaign. And again, remember that you want to stay really focused, a really focused campaign just to start out, and you can always expand it later on. So this is actually probably more useful, you know, your first week or so. You're going to have really focused keywords. You're going to know what keywords you probably want to bid on. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory. And then as you want to expand your campaign more and more and more, you'll probably keep coming back to this keyword tool to see, okay, what other things can I add here that I don't already have in there? Okay, and you might want to figure it out. And again, chiropractor is a very basic, straightforward, simple campaign to create. As you start doing personal injury attorney or start some more complicated types of campaigns, you'll probably be using this keyword tool a little bit more to get you ideas. And then you're breaking out the keywords into different ad groups and all that as well. So just wanted to show you really quick the Google keyword tool. Just go to google.com and type in Google keyword tool. It'll be the first one that pops up, and it'll take you to this page right here where you just type in your keyword and you'll get a bunch of ideas. All right, now in this video, let's talk about negative keywords. And negative keywords are very, very important. Now, you can use the keyword tool here. As you can see, I'm still in the keyword tool. And you can use this keyword tool to get ideas for negative keywords, right? You know, for example, chiropractor websites is one of these keyword suggestions here from the keyword tool. And that might be something that I want to add as a negative keyword. So let me go in here. And also, the main place that I usually find my negative keywords is, number one, you think about it for yourself. And a lot of them are going to be the same negative keywords that you use every time, but also here from this suggested tool. So I just went back into the Google campaign, the same place where I added the keywords, and I looked in here to find good keyword suggestions that I didn't already have. And again, I'm going to look in here for negative keywords. So to add your negative keywords, you scroll all the way down. Again, we're in our Reno chiropractor ad group, and we're in the keywords tab, and then I scroll all the way down. Here are all the keywords I already have in this campaign, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to negative keywords. Here at the very, very bottom of the page, you see it has negative keywords, this little link. So I'll click on negative keywords, and that should now it pops up here and says there are no ad group level negative keywords or campaign level. So you have the choice to add these negative keywords at the ad group level or at the campaign level. And I typically always add them at the campaign level. Typically, if I have a negative keyword, I want it to be a negative keyword throughout all my ad groups. So instead of having to go into the Reno ad group and the Lake Tahoe chiropractor ad group and the Sparks chiropractor ad group and having to individually add all the negative keywords 3 different times, you may as well just add it to the campaign level here. So you go into the campaign level here, and I'm going to add negative keywords. So I'm going to add keywords. So here you see it says add campaign negative keywords. And what I would type in here, obviously the first one is job. The second one is jobs, and I just put a different one on each line, right? It says enter 1 negative keyword per line. So what this means is that if anyone types in chiropractor job or chiropractor jobs, those are going to be, my ad is not going to show up for that, which is good. I don't want people who are looking for chiropractor jobs seeing my ad and clicking on my ad. Another one, looking through the keyword tool, remember we saw chiropractor websites. So let's put websites in there. We don't want people looking for chiropractor websites because that's probably a chiropractor looking for a website. And you know, you don't even need your competition seeing your ads, and you don't want them clicking on your ads. So chiropractor searching for a website and sees your ad at the top might say, that's an interesting ad, let me click on that. And that's a bad click. We want to avoid bad clicks. So the purpose of these negative keywords is to avoid bad clicks. Anyone searching for chiropractor career or chiropractor careers, I want to avoid them. We also saw a chiropractor marketing, so I want to have that. So I don't want anyone who's typing in chiropractor marketing to see my ad. So these are just a few to start with here, and let me save those here as negative keywords here in a campaign level. Let's go up and see if we can find any more. If we go back up here, oh, here's another good one. Okay, so I'm looking at the suggested ideas here, and I see chiropractic school. I want to add that as a negative one. School and schools. Let's see what else. Is there any others here that I would want to? Chiropractic education. Okay. Chiropractic degrees, chiropractic salary. Okay, these are all good negative keywords here. So we're going to go back here. We're going to add some more negative keywords. So we said we want to eliminate school. We want to have a negative keyword schools. We want education. We don't want people looking for chiropractor education or school or schools. What were some of the other ones we had up here? Let's see. We saw chiropractor salary. Okay. Chiropractor logos. Okay, we can eliminate all of those. Chiropractor salary, logos. Okay, we don't want anyone who's searching for that to find us. Let's see what else. What other ones can we find here? Let's see. Any others? Looking through here. Chiropractic assistant. Okay, I'll probably put that in. I don't want someone looking for a chiropractic assistant and seeing my ad and clicking on my ad. Okay, so let's put another one here. Assistant. Okay, so again, I think you kind of get the point here. These a lot of times are going to be standard negative keywords across any kind of campaign that you do. School, schools, education, salary, logos, assistant, job and jobs, and career and careers. I use those as negative keywords for pretty much every campaign that I do, because a lot of people, let's say it's an attorney, right? If someone's looking for a job as an attorney, right? I don't want that my ad to show. If someone's looking for a chiropractor job or chiropractor jobs or chiropractor website, chiropractor career or careers, chiropractor school or schools, those are great negative keywords to have. So I would look through here and I would search, and chiropractor degree was another one I saw, right? So let's see, any others? Chiropractor degree, so let's add that one too. Okay, add keyword here, and chiropractor degree. So these negative keywords are really important, and what I'll show you in future videos is basically how you can go back and continue to add negative keywords later. So you'll be monitoring your campaign, and after a couple weeks of seeing some stats, you'll be able to go in and search. I'll show you in future videos how you can see every single search that people typed in, and this way you can see if anyone typed in a search with a keyword that you don't want in there, you can go in and add the negative keyword later on. So you can keep adding to this list, and really the more negative keywords that you can think of and find, the better. You want to avoid having your ad show up and be clicked on, and you want to avoid bad clicks. So that's the whole purpose of these negative keywords here. Again, you have to scroll all the way down below all your keywords. You scroll down and you have the little negative keywords thing here, and you want to add them at the campaign level. And again, a lot of these are pretty standard. You can always add a negative keyword of jobs, career, schools, thing like that. So I think you kind of get the idea there, and make sure you always add some negative keywords to your campaigns to make sure you avoid those bad clicks. Alright, now in this very important video, I'm going to show you how to integrate your Google Places, which is also now called Google Plus Local. You can still find it on the same domain, google.com/places. They just recently changed the name to Google Plus Local. So anytime you hear me throughout the program talk about Google Places, just want to reiterate that that's also Google Plus Local is the new name of that. Now, I want to show you, right before I show you how to integrate it into your ad, I already showed you in the Module 3 video when we showed the campaign setup, we showed how to integrate your location extensions and integrate your Google Places in the location extensions when you set up your campaign. Now I'm going to show you how to make sure that it's integrated into every single ad that you put out as well. And this is kind of a new setup that Google has here in the past few months here, past several months, is that you have to actually integrate it in your ad as well. So before I show you that, I want you to look at the screen right now and see the ultimate local business ad, okay? Now, don't look at the ad copy. His ad copy is not so great. We're not looking at the ad copy for this, but when I say the ultimate local business ad, what I mean is that their Google Places is integrated into the ad, and they have those site links. So look at the first ad there on the screen. The only one we're looking at is the Periente Law Offices. So then you see they have their phone numbers. If you look at the 4 links there, so they have their ad there, Periente Law Offices. Below that it says experienced attorneys serving Vegas, and then below that they have their phone number, 702-966-5310, and then about us, free case evaluation and case results. Those 4 links there in blue, the phone number, about us, free case evaluation and case results, those are called site links, and we're going to show you that in one of the next videos. I'm going to discuss specifically about site links, and those really help you get a higher click-through rate and get more leads as well. So site links are very important, and as you can see, they have their Google Places or Google Plus Local, whatever you want to call it now, integrated in there as well. So the ultimate local business ad, as I call it, and if you look at the second ad down below, look how the first ad is literally twice the size of the first ad, of the second ad. The first ad is twice the size of the second ad, if you look at it, right? And that's because the first ad has their Google Places and the site links in the ad, and the second ad does not. And what a huge difference that really makes. So I only want you running these campaigns with site links and with the Google Places integrated with the ad, especially the Google Places. That has to be integrated with the ad. And I'll show you some stats here in just a couple minutes in this video. I'm going to show you some amazing statistics of why this is exactly exactly so important. So just so you know, I want all your ads to have these site links in there. It doesn't have to be 4 site links. You could have 2 or 3 or 4 site links like this person has in their ad, the About Us, free case evaluation, case results, and the Google Places. And that's going to dramatically increase your results. And now because you're just starting out, I want to ensure that you get incredible results for your clients. So have I ever run campaigns without having the Google Places and without having site links? Yes, I have run campaigns like that in the past. However, it really ensures your success when you do have it. So why take the chance of doing all the work to create a landing page and set a client up, and then you slack off by not adding the Google Places or not adding the site links, and then they say, oh, well, we got good leads, but we were hoping it would do a little better, right? You want to make sure you avoid that at all costs. And I believe that by having the Google Places and the site links in the ad, you will avoid that, and you will get your clients the highest results, which ensures that they become long-term clients, right? We want to have clients that last for 2-3 years, and that you help grow their business, and that they go from spending a couple thousand a month to several thousand to tens of thousands a month if possible, and really grow their business. So that's what we're looking to do here. And so we really want our ad to be like the ultimate local business ad. There's a lot of competition out there, and in order to compete with the best and be a top marketer, like you're now learning how to be a top marketer, you're learning how to master the top advertising system of all internet marketing, which is Google AdWords, and that's what we're learning to do here. So, to compete with the best, you got to do everything the way the best people do, and so this is very important. I can't stress enough. Site links and Google Places in the ad. Don't run your ads without it. Now, let me show you exactly how to do this. I explained again earlier how to integrate Google Places with your when you're setting up your campaign in the settings. But now when you get to the ad, what happens is this. So I went back into one of my ad groups that I had already created. I go back into my ad, and I go to create a new ad, and look what happens. You see there, I have the arrows pointing there to right below the ad where it says 1 addresses from campaign settings are eligible to appear with this ad. Always show with 1 address. And so what happens is you click that little link there that says always show with 1 address. So this is very important. Every time you go and write an ad, you have to make sure that this 1 addresses from campaign settings, that you always click this little blue link there that says always show with 1 address. Okay, and when you do that, what happens is this. When you click that little link, it pops up like this, and you see I blacked out their this client information here, but what happens is it shows the Google Places address and information. Okay, so it actually has a picture of their little logo there, and it has their phone number and address. I blocked all that out so that you can't see client information there. And so now what you notice is below there, it says on the bottom there, it says 20 miles recommended, right? It says target location within 20 miles. Now this is very important. I typically would say that you want to start targeting the location. I typically would say 50 miles. So there's a little drop down there on the bottom of the ad there. Below, you could see the Google Places integration, right? I click the link. It has the Google Places integrated with the ad. And then at the bottom there, it says target location within 20 miles recommended. That's what Google recommends is 20 miles. I typically go out to 50 miles on this, okay? Depending on if you're in a big city or a rural town. For example, if you're in Manhattan, New York, you might only need to go 20 miles because you'll have so much traffic within that 20 miles, and people are probably not going to travel more than 20 miles to see a chiropractor in Manhattan. Okay, but if you're in a rural area, then people might travel 30 miles to see a chiropractor. Okay, so you would want to target your location within 50 miles. So typically, as a standard to start, I would say you can use 50 miles in most cases. So what you would do there is that drop down there, right where it says 20 miles, what Google recommends, you would click that little drop down link, and it would give you the option to target 20 miles, 50 miles, or 100 miles. So I would recommend, again, targeting 50 miles. And what that means is this. It means your ads are only going to show with your Google Places information in the ad to people who search within a 50-mile radius of the location. So that's really important, because think about it, right? A chiropractor or a doctor, or even an attorney, or even an attorney or a dentist, right? Think about that. Is someone going to really drive 100 miles to see a chiropractor or a dentist? Probably not, right? So I say target location. This is specific to local businesses. Again, if we're talking, this is setting up these campaigns for local businesses is much different than setting up a huge, complicated campaign for some complex company. This is very simple. So you only want to target people within a 50-mile radius. So you would click that little button there and switch it to 50 miles, and then you would hit save. Don't worry about this little light bulb at the bottom that says using AdWords editor to update your ads. Don't worry about that. You don't need to use AdWords Editor at all at this time. So basically, here you are here, and you could see how the Google AdWords integrates with it. You could see how you can change the target location for the number of miles. And again, my recommendation is you leave it to 50 miles. This way you target only people in a 50-mile radius. Now think about how high quality these leads are going to be. Your ads are only going to be showing to people in a 50-mile radius, and you're going to have the Google Places with the phone number and address integrated into the ad. That really is what makes, and we're starting with very concise, very focused ad groups and keywords. So that's why we're starting out getting the highest quality leads possible that these businesses can get, right? A chiropractor in Reno, someone types into Google chiropractor Reno, and they live 20 miles away, and your ad pops up number one with the Google Places and address and phone number in the ad, and then they see your ad at the top, they click on it, they go to your high converting landing page. Your client's not going to get a hotter lead than that. So I just wanted to show you that one. And here are some amazing, interesting stats. Why you always want to integrate Google Places, which is now called Google Plus Local, why you always want to integrate it. And just to go further on what I said before, look at these amazing statistics that I'm about to explain to you. And this is why you do not start your local business AdWords campaigns without attaching Google Places to your ad. So these are real statistics from a real client account that is running right now, okay? What you see there is 3 different campaigns that they have going on in 3 different parts of the country. Now, the first one, where you see I have the Google Places, is pointing, where you see 254 clicks, and you see the CTR, that's click-through rate, is 3.45%, which is very good. Sometimes you'll have CTR of 6, 7, 8, 9% for some keywords, and other keywords might be 1% or 2%, right? But on an average, a 3.45% CTR for a campaign is very good. And I'll go more into CTR and what a good CTR is again in future videos, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. But just know that 3.45 is pretty good. 3.45 is very good CTR. 2.41 is pretty good, and 2.09 is good, but not outstanding. And I want to explain to you what the difference is here, because this is the same exact ad running. Now, the first line that you see there is they're targeting their exact location within a 50-mile radius that has the Google Places integrated in their ad. And so they have a 3.45% click-through rate on the campaign that is in their exact neighborhood, in their surrounding area, with the Google Places integrated into the ad. Okay? Now, this company can do business throughout their entire state, and they can also do business in their neighboring state. So they wanted me to set up another campaign targeting a different city within their state. However, this other city was more than 100 miles away from their current location, so I could not integrate Google Places into their ad. Now look at the difference. On the second line, you see 85 clicks, and the CTR is 2.41%. That's a drop of more than 1% in the click-through rate, just because they don't have their Google Places in the ad, because it's in a town on the other side of the state. So that's why you can't have the Google Places, because their location is in one part of the state, and they're trying to target people on another side of the state, so they can't have Google Places in that case. You can only have Google Places integrated in your ad within a radius of 20 miles, 50 miles, or up to 100 miles. And again, I recommend you set it to 50-mile radius to have your ad show only when people within a 50-mile radius show. So look at that huge difference. Now, if you look at the bottom line, I have their furthest location. This is actually, they wanted to target a location in another state, in their nearby state where they're also licensed. And if you look, you see 21 clicks and a 2.09% click-through rate. And what this shows you, what this is evidence of, is that people like to do business with real local businesses that are close to them. And it also shows you that they love seeing the Google Places in the ad. It's further proof that that business is right there near them. It's further proof of having their address and the ad just standing out that much more, that really catches their attention. So if you look down the line here, we went Google Places increase. Look at the huge difference between the furthest location and the one in their surrounding area. The Google Places results are huge, 3.45%, almost double what the furthest location had. And you can see even when they go in their same state but furthest away, so it goes from 3.45% with the Google Places in their exact area down to, when they go further away with no Google Places, down to 2.41%. And when they go to another state, they're down to 2.09%. So it really just shows you how important it is to be targeting your exact local area and have the Google Places in your ad. So I just hope you realize the importance. And these stats are so powerful. As you start setting up more and more campaigns and you start noticing your click-through rates, and what happens and how many leads are generated, you will see how powerful this really is and how crazy these stats are to see the difference like this. Now I want to show you one other thing here in this video. Okay, so let me go in here. There's one little thing. This is the demo campaign that I set up previously for the Reno chiropractor. So here I am on the main page, and you see I'm on the campaign settings. So I'll click on the search campaign we set up. You see we set up these 3 ad groups: Reno chiropractor, Lake Tahoe Sparks. I'll go into Reno chiropractor. And what you need to know is that when you first set it up, if you remember I set it up, I put in all the keywords here that they're still in here. And I just set up one ad because we're going to get more into ads right now in this module. But I only set up one ad because you have to set up one ad to actually get the ad group started. So that's what I did. Now you'll see that, now one thing you want to note is that when you first set up your first ad, it usually does not allow you to integrate Google Places into that ad. So what you actually have to do is set up your first ad and then go back and hit this edit button and go back in it, and then it will show, like I showed you, the Google Places dropdown. It doesn't show it here because this is just a demo account, so I don't have a Google Places integrated with this demo account. But I'll bring back the slide here so you can see, okay, what it would look like. Let me play it for you one more time here. So you see, this is exactly what that would look like here. You see, with the Google Places in the ad. So just a heads up, if you set up your campaign the first time and then you're like, hey, how come the Google Places, it didn't give me that option of clicking that little drop down, right? This little drop down here. See where it says where the arrows are pointing to here on the screen? Let me play that for you here. Where the arrows are pointing to, where it says always show with one address, it's very important that you click on that link so that you integrate the Google Places ad. And sometimes, a lot of times, when you first set up your campaign, it does not give you that option. So you just set it up, write your first ad, and then go back into it right away and edit it. And then when you go to edit it, you'll see the drop down that has the link to add your Google Places and the drop down to set it to 20 miles or 50 miles. And again, I recommend setting that to 50 miles. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very important video. This showed you some incredible statistics here. It showed you how to integrate the Google Places into each one of your ads. It showed you the importance of having site links and Google Places and how that's the ultimate local business ad. And we'll go more into site links and other ad writing tricks in future videos. But you can see, just by having the site links and AdWords, Google Places in your AdWords campaign, look at the huge difference. And this is the kind of results I want you to get for your clients. Now in this quick video, we're going to talk about site links. And again, site links are the other very important part to your ad, in addition to integrating your Google Places. Just bring this up again real quick to show you. And remember, the site links are, you see how in this ad here, there's the phone number, then there's the About Us and free case evaluation and case results. Those are called site links. So that's really cool to add that to your ad. So let's show you how to do that. Now I'm here in the demo account that I set up before, and I'm here, and basically, if you, by the way, if you ever want to go back to like your main screen, you just click on the top left hand side there, all online campaigns. You just click on all online campaigns, and then there's the tabs across the top here, and then you click on campaigns here, and this brings you back to your main screen to show you your campaigns. If you click on that, it'll show you all the ad groups. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go to the settings of this campaign. So I go to the settings tab here at the top, the second tab at the top. And in the settings tab, I'm going to go to, actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to ad extensions. This tab here, right here, the fifth tab, ad extensions. So I go to ad extensions. You can actually add site links from your settings as well, but I'm going to show you how to do it as an ad extension. I think it's easier. This way you can kind of go back in anytime and add this as an ad extension. So you go in there, add extensions, and then right here, you see there's a little drop down. It says view location extensions. You click on that, and then it has a drop down of all the ad extensions that you could possibly have. So there's location extensions, call extensions, and site link extensions. So you could do call extensions too. By the way, I would probably recommend that you do call extensions. So if you do call extensions there, and then the button pops up, new extension, and then you can just put in your phone number and hit save. And what that'll do is, it's not really that necessary because we have our Google Places integrated with our ad, so we have the phone number on our ad anyway, but it doesn't hurt to do this, to add this call extension anyway. It's just in case, for some weird reason, every once in a while, Google will show your ad without the Google Places or without the site links. I can't really explain it. They kind of, most of the time though, if you have your site links and Google Places in the ad, most of the time it will appear in the ad, but every once in a while it doesn't. And so if it doesn't, at least if you have call extensions, at least you'll have a phone number in very small print next to your ad. So it doesn't hurt to add call extensions, but let's focus on site link extensions, which are the most important here. So again, we went to add extensions, and then in here you'd have to it's probably going to be defaulted to location extensions. So you got to click the drop down there and go to site link extensions, and then you're going to click new extension. Okay, and what happens is here it drops down this add site links extensions here, and you can see that there's a space for you to enter 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can enter up to 4 site links here as well. Now, unfortunately, it used to be that you could enter any kind of copy that you wanted and send all 4 links back to your landing page, right? So I could do. So let's say, for example, you have a mortgage lender, right? So a mortgage lender might have their first site link say, refinance your upside down property. That barely fit. Okay, so that would be one, and then I would put in the link. Now, here's the important thing to really mention here. Unfortunately, your first site link should not be linked to your main landing page. Now again, it used to be that you could just put in 4 different site links, whatever you wanted to put here. Refinance your upside down property. The second site link could be called, free quote or something like that. The third one could be called pre-qualify or something like that. Now, it used to be that you could have all of your site links just go to your main landing page, right? Unfortunately, now Google does not like that. It's a very new rule. They literally just implemented it not too long ago, that they're going to start monitoring site links, and you can't just have 3 different site links that go to the same exact page. Because if you're putting a site link, it should link to a specific section of your site. So here's what we do, right? Here's what we do now. So basically, because we're using the landing page, we're pretty much just going to have 2 site links. Okay, if you're using the landing page that I'm showing, if you're driving traffic to a main website, which I don't recommend that you do, then you can have 4 different links that go to 4 different sections of the site. You can have, some people put about us, some people put FAQs right in here, and again, let's look at for example what this guy has here. On his site links, right? He put the phone number as one of his site links, which is odd, especially since he has a phone number in his Google Places, which is different than his site link phone number. So it's kind of weird that he put a site link phone number here. Then he put about us as a site link. Okay, fine. Then he put free case evaluation as a site link. That's a good site link. Then he put case results as a site link. That's a pretty good site link too, case results. I guess if people want to see proof of his results. So that's pretty cool. 3 different site links there. I don't really think about us. I mean, I guess about us is pretty important. People might want to see about us, but what he's not really doing here is he's not really trying to get people in the door with a hook here. He's not using some sort of hook in his site links that he could be using. So for example, in my example of a mortgage person, I have my first site link say refinance your upside down property. My second site link might say free quote. And again, if I had a third, I probably wouldn't use FAQs or about us. You could put whatever you want there. But again, this is only if you have 4 different links now. With the new Google rules, you literally have to have 4 different links that you're sending each of these to. So here's the thing. Since we have the landing page, and the landing page is really just one page, here's what we're going to do. We're going to basically have the first link. The first link cannot go to the landing page, and here's why. All of your ads are going to your landing page, so Google wants to see that your first site link is different than your landing page. You can have your second site link be your landing page. So let me see here. So what was let's say I think we used like renocairo.com or something. Let's say our domain was www.renocairo.com. Okay, and let's say that we put our landing page up on www.renocairo.com/free consultation. Okay, so basically that's our landing page, right? So most of the times your client is going to have a main website. If they have a main website, you're going to always be creating your landing page on a /free consultation or /free quote, whatever you want to call the page, right? So this is your landing page, and this is their main website. Now, normally I would not send any traffic to the main website, but just for the purpose of these site links, I am going to have the first site link go to their main site just to make Google happy, and then my second site link is going to go to my landing page. Because recently with the new Google rules, like I mentioned, if I try to make the first site link go to my main landing page, sometimes it just won't show. Sometimes Google just won't show it. And recently I've noticed this, that they don't like you sending your first site link to your landing page, but your second one is just fine. So that's what I found out. So your first site link, again, have it go to the main website. Again, even though I would normally not recommend that, it's only for the purpose of these site links. And your second site link, have it go to your landing page. Okay, so that's a way to basically have 2 site links. Now another thing is, and if you're only using the landing page, then you might not have room for site links number 3 and 4. But here's the solution to that: is you make your first 2 site links very long, right? Like if we go back to this ad again here, okay. If we go back to this ad again here, you see that he has 4 site links, right? But they're pretty small. They're not long copy. So if you're going to have a site link that was twice, the size of 2 of his site links, then you might only be able to fit 2. So that's what I do here. Like for example, refinance your upside down property is a very long site link, okay? And again, I just realized that this is for a mortgage, and I put the example as a chiropractor. So you understand. I'm just doing this as a demo. So that's a long site link. Refinance your upside down property, much longer than an FAQ. And the second one, you can do free quote, call today or something, right? So now you have 2 pretty long site links. So it'll still kind of take up all the same space that these 4 site links take up. And that's really the key, is to have your ad be bigger and stand out more and have, all this different aspects to it. So that's a way to add your 2 site links there. Have basically, if you're using the landing page, you can just use 2 site links and make it something that's going to be appealing. Like make it a benefit. Like this one's refinance your upside down property, free quote, call today. I did another one where it was a doctor, and I said, meet Dr. Andrews. Okay, and then the other thing is, on his landing page, he had a video of testimonials from his clients. So I said, testimonials from our happy clients. So now basically when they see the site link here under the ad, it would say, it wouldn't have the phone number or about us or any of that. It would say meet Dr. Andrews, and then the next one would say testimonials from our happy clients. So that's pretty cool. You have the ad and everything that you have in the ad and the Google Places and everything there, and now there's just little extra hook of meet the doctor and testimonials from our happy clients. So that's really cool because that just gives it a little extra boost. So try to think about what would be appealing. I think it's kind of boring when people just have FAQs or about us as the site links. I think it's better to have something like meet the doctor, testimonials from our clients, free quote, call today, all this kind of stuff. So very important though, that's how you add these 2 site links. And again, I'll stress it one more time. First site link should go to their main page, and then on link number 2, again, 90% of the time your client is going to have their main website, and you're going to send them to their main website. And then on the second link, you'll send them straight to the landing page, which will be /free consultation. Okay, and then have 2 site links here. You can make them as long as you want, as long as it fits the line text. And that's a way to get your site links in the ad. Then you'll just hit save, and it'll be saved to your campaign. And every time your ad shows in your campaign, you'll have the Google Places integrated and the site links integrated. Very, very powerful. In this quick video, I just want to tell you about how you can maximize your display URL. So display URL is another tool that we have here to get more clicks on our ads, which is the whole point here. So let me just go here and select new ad. I'm going to create a new text ad here in our demo account. And usually when you create a new ad, it just brings up what you had in the last ad here. Now what we're looking at specifically in this video is the display URL. So this display URL, you see you have a headline, description line 1, description line 2, display URL, and destination URL. Now the display URL is what people see in your ad, and you can see here when it shows the ad preview, you can see that bottom line there is the display URL. The destination URL, that is, people do not see the destination URL, but this is where you are sending people to. So this destination URL is always going to be your landing page. But this display URL, you can literally put pretty much anything you want as long as you have the main domain in here. So let me explain what I mean. Now here you see in this ad, I have renosparkschiro.com/free visit. So even if my page was not, even if my landing page was not called /free visit, I could have this display URL say /free visit. So that's a good thing to test. Now another thing you can do here, another way you can do this display URL is you can have it say freevisit.renosparkschiro.com. So this is pretty cool too, that you can actually do have the phrase there .RenoSparksChiro.com, and that's pretty cool. And for example, one time I had a client that was offering a code enforcement software, and I saw a huge increase in their click-through rate just by adding this. I did code enforcement dot whatever their company name was. I don't want to say it, so let's say abccompany.com, right? So now people, their number one keyword was like code enforcement software or something like that. So then when people Googled code enforcement software, the display URL would come up and it would say codeenforcement.abccompany.com. So it's very congruent with what their top keyword was. So again, we're going to have specific ad groups, as I showed you already, for specific keywords. So for example, let's say this chiropractor, let's say this was this one is in the Reno ad group. Let's say it was in the Sparks ad group, right? Maybe I want to do Sparks dot, whatever the ChiroReno.com, whatever the main domain is, right? .com. I'll get rid of that one. So, you see what I'm saying? So you can do the dot. That's a pretty cool thing. Now, let me tell you something that was a really, really important, why this is so important, the display URL, and how you can kind of get creative with it a little bit. I actually have a very, very close friend of mine who runs a company that, no joke, does over 50 million a year in sales. Okay, they do over 50 million a year in sales, and over 90% of that comes from Google AdWords. Okay, so I don't know exactly how much they spend, but they spend millions of dollars a year, literally millions of dollars a year on AdWords. And I mastermind with this guy. I'm actually good friends with him. I've actually given them some tips that they were very appreciative of, some ad writing tips that helped improve their click-through rate. Now, here's the thing. So one thing, this was so interesting, I thought this was extraordinarily interesting here, is these guys have a really unique niche. So basically, I can't really reveal all the information, but for the most part, I'll give you an example. They pretty much, they sell tons of different things online. I mean, tons of different things. And so let's say that the name of their website was called discountoutlet.com. Okay, so what they would do, let's say that was the name of their website. It's not, but it's let's just say that it was. So here's the thing, right? So let's say that they were selling a Sony product. What they would do is they would have sony.discountoutlet.com, right? So this actually, this is amazing. This actually made them look like they were like an outlet store for Sony, right? And they had huge, and this looks a little confusing because I have the chiropractor ad here, but let's just say, imagine this ad wasn't here. Just focus on the display URL of sony.discountoutlet.com. So they had huge click-through rates just by having this, obviously it was whatever the Sony product was. Let's say it was, Sony TV sale or something like that, today only or whatever. I don't know. Let's just say whatever. I'm just making up ads here now. So basically, let's say that this was a Sony ad, and then in the display URL it says sony.discountoutlet.com. Well, when you're looking on that page on Google and you see all these different results, and you see one of the results is a sony.discountoutlet.com, you probably think that that's the official Sony outlet where you can get stuff at a discount. And so these guys were raking it in, doing this strategy. And I just heard that recently one of their vendors contacted them and said, hey, you can't use our name like that anymore. And not all of their vendors. They still have tons of other vendors that don't know that they're doing this. I'm not sure if their vendors would approve or not. I don't know, but they're making millions of dollars off of this, so it's important to note. But for example, let's say Sony contacted them and said, hey, you can't use that. So they had to go back to doing, let's say, just their main domain. They told me that their click-through rates went down so dramatically that it was almost difficult for them to compete for that brand. So just by having this, like sony.discountoutlet.com, made such a huge difference. That could be the difference literally between millions of dollars for their company. It's just fascinating to me that one little word like that in the display URL could make such a big difference. And then you take that word away, and it just changes, your click-through rate dramatically and your profitability dramatically. So very, very important to take advantage of this display URL. And again, you can, so if this was, whatever the case may be, if it's so for example, the people that did code enforcement, again, it would be code enforcement.abc abccompany.com, right? So that's pretty cool having that and the dot. A lot of times if you don't feel like the dot is good, or you could, by the way, you could split test this. You could have the same exact ad and have the display URL on one be codeenforcement.abccompany.com. You could try the other ad and have it be abccompany.com/code enforcement, and see which one gets the best results, like that, right? So you could test doing the / at the end or adding it ahead of the company name with the dot. You have a couple different options that you could play around here with the display URL, but you can put whatever you want. As long as you have abccompany.com, you could put a / after, or you could put the word before and just have the dot, just like I just showed you. Codeenforcement.abccompany.com would be the other way you could do this. So take advantage, because they let you take advantage. Google allows you to put pretty much whatever you want in the display URL as long as you have the main domain name in there. So definitely utilize this. This is something that not a lot of people utilize at all, but I highly recommend you do, because it could give you a nice little increase in your click-through rate and get some more leads. So taking advantage of every opportunity we have to get more leads and get a higher click-through rate on our ad, integrating the site links, integrating the Google Places, having a great display URL that takes advantage of what Google allows us to do with the display URL. So these are all great things to keep in mind. So that's another great tool to have in your tool bag. And now let's go on to some specific copywriting strategies in the future videos. All right, now in this quick video, I want to start getting to one of my big secrets, one of my big tips here, which is having all caps, having words in all caps in your ads. And this is something that I see very few people doing, and I think that it can get you a huge increase. I've seen a huge increase in click-through rates by having words in all caps in your ad. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. But this is something that not a lot of people are doing at all. I see very few people doing this, if anyone. I swear I see, out of all the places that I have clients in, all the different niches, when I look around, I rarely see anyone else using this trick. I rarely see anyone else using words in caps, and it's just amazing to me because I've seen it work so well. So here's an example. Look at this ad that's on the screen right now, and actually I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you here so you can maybe even get a little bit of a better look at the ad here. So here's the ad, right? So in the headline, and it's specifically in the headline, but you can actually have words in all caps in pretty much in your headline or line 1 or line 2. I've never tried it in the display URL. Maybe you could try it, but I doubt they'll let that fly in the display URL. Now here's the thing. You won't be able to use really long words in caps, but you can test it and see what happens. See what they'll let you slide with. What happens is this, is you can have whatever you want here. I mean, you could have this whole line in all caps, but when you go to hit save, it might say, you know, ad not accepted, excessive capitalization. And then all you have to do is go back and fix it, right? So there's no harm done. You can go crazy as if Google, you know, with the caps, you can go crazy with all caps. Google will not, you'll see right away. As soon as you hit save ad, right away, it'll say, you know, 1 or more errors with your ad, fix the excessive capitalization or something like that. But for words like this, like the word not in all caps, and I'll show you some other ones as well, like short words specifically. Although, by the way, one time I had the word software in all caps, and they let that slide. But other times I've had other words that I've tried to fit in there similar to the word software that they haven't let me go. They say excessive capitalization. So just try and see what you can get away with. I know that this you can definitely get away with, like having the word not in all caps. And also having the name of your location in all caps, I find that you can typically get away with as well. So here's an example of an ad that says, do not call the IRS, and not is in all caps, right? So this would be for like an IRS attorney. Do not call the IRS before a free consultation with us. If you owe more than $20K, call us. And then remember, they're Google Places, and they'd have site links. So Google Places would have their phone number there, site links, and then we have the display URL that we're taking advantage of, irs-solutions.com/free consultation. Okay, so this is an example of using, you can see here, this is a pretty good ad all the way across the board because we're mentioning the free consultation. We're giving do not, we're using the caps. So what's good about this ad is that it's going to stand out, right? Especially if you're near the top of the page and everyone else is going to be IRS IRS attorney, IRS this, IRS settlement, whatever it's going to be, just the same generic headlines. Probably everyone else is going to have a very similar ad, and then all of a sudden yours is at the top that says, do not call the IRS. It's going to grab their attention. They're going to look at it and be like, whoa, what does it mean, do not call the IRS? And then they see, before a free consultation with us, if you owe more than 20K, call us. So it's really just a little trick, and that's what really this capitalization does. It's really just a trick to get eyeballs to go to your ad, right? You're competing with all the other results on the page. You want people's eyes to go to your ad and call your ad and click on your ad. So these little capitalization tricks this is a huge trick. I can't believe more people aren't using this. I think just many people don't know that Google even allows it. And I used to not think that they did, but then I started it and just tried it, and by chance I saw that it worked, so I kept doing it and it kept working. So here's an example. Another one would be this. Let's say I'm in Vegas. I would have Vegas IRS attorney, and this would also, they would definitely allow this to go through. And this is cool because it has my location name in all caps, and the IRS is going to always be in all caps. They're always going to allow that. So Vegas IRS attorney, number one, I don't know, something like that. Or you could just, you don't even have to fill up, you don't always have to fill up all the space, by the way, but it's nice if you do. So Vegas IRS consultation, free consultation, 100% guarantee, something like that. We'll talk about a little bit more about what you can use to fill the rest of these lines. But again, and I'll go over it again in the next videos, free consultation is a great thing to always have in your ad, and call us. So having some sort of call to action and having free consultation and having the location in your ad. So really, if you think about it, right, you have your location, you have the free consultation, and you have the call to action. Aside from that, you're just adding in a few other, pieces here. You're really just plugging in a couple different pieces. And again, in the next videos, I'll expand on that a little bit more. Just want to stay focused on the capitalization here. And this is a real huge thing. So I would definitely test an ad that has your location. Now, if you have a long location name, like if your location is Oklahoma, they might not let you have the entire Oklahoma in caps. But if you're Vegas, if you're, Reno, just try it and see what they'll let you get away with. But that's a really cool thing. So I highly recommend having your location name in all caps be the first thing there, right? Because let's say someone's in Vegas and they're searching in Vegas for an IRS attorney, and right away the first ad on the page pops up in all caps, Vegas IRS attorney, right? I mean, that's going to catch their attention. So again, that's a really cool trick, and I would use that. Another thing we could do here is is having caps in your other line. Now, you don't want to capitalize the word free. They don't like that. Google doesn't like capitalizing the word free. They'll almost never let you do that. So don't capitalize free. Also, guarantee. I've tried to put a guarantee in all caps. They didn't let me do that. But for example, one thing I did is I did something like this. You pay nothing until we get you a settlement. Call us. Something like that, right? So that would fly too. So this, again, it makes it kind of stand out. You pay nothing. It kind of emphasizes the point. I mean, copywriters use words in all caps all the time, or they do underlines or things like that. Now, you can't underline in a Google ad, right? I can't underline the word nothing, but I can put it in all caps. So again, I really want you to see the power here, and especially having the location in all caps as the first word in your ad is very powerful. And feel free to try to use all caps. Don't use it on the word free. And you could try using it on whatever you want. They'll just not accept your ad, but you'll see it as soon as you click Save Ad. It'll say excessive capitalization. Fix your ad. So then you just go back and fix it. No harm done. So I hope you really see the power of this. And this is a super cool trick that I don't see really very few people using, if anyone. I think I'm the only one really for the most part using this. I saw like one other person do it so far in the last few months. So really powerful trick that you just learned here, and take advantage. And we'll move on to future videos, talk more about writing your ads. Alright, now let's get to this great video about the components of a high converting local business ad. Now, I've really broken this down for you and made it really simple. Okay, a lot of people think that writing AdWords ads is very complicated, and you know what? For a big nationwide campaign, like I told you, my buddy, who these guys sell over $50 million a year, and over 90% of that comes from Google AdWords, right? All different products and all different niches and all different brands that they carry. That's a complicated campaign. But this right here, a local business campaign, is not complicated. So I want you to really follow this, and I've really simplified this for you, but don't be fooled by the fact that it looks so simple. This is what converts. This is what works for local business ads. I did a lot of research on this, about not only what's worked for me, but what's worked for other people. I've done a lot of research on this, so just trust me. This is what works for local business ads. This is my specialty. Focus here is to generate local business clients and get great results for them, and this is exactly how you do it, by following these exact steps right here. Okay, a lot of other very advanced courses will say, oh, you need to sit down and think about who your ideal client is, and what's their archetype, and what is the avatar, what is your customer avatar, what does he look like, what is he thinking, really think about this, and all this really theory and hypotheses that, of things that you need to really sit down and ponder, all this stuff, right? Well, I'm making it really simple for you, okay? Because what I find is that a lot of times these people that try to teach theory, they don't really give any specific instructions. I need to give you something specific that you can go out and use and implement and get results with right now. So, the thing is this, is that for these local business campaigns, there is a certain set of things that if you follow them, you will get high converting ads. Now, you're always going to have to split test multiple ads, different parts of the country, get different results. Someone in California, prospects in California might respond differently than prospects in Texas. So, you really have to test multiple ads no matter where you are. And just because I show you something that has worked for me, you still need to test it in your market and see if it works for you. But what I'm going to show you here, if you follow these components and then create a couple of different ads and test a couple of different things, you will find a good converting ad here. So let's go through this real quick. And again, remember, just keep it simple. Don't worry about any other noise out there. Just follow these specific instructions. This is so powerful. I almost feel like I'm oversimplifying it for you, because these are such powerful, these techniques that you're about to learn about getting high converting ads here. We already spoke about integrating Google Places and site links and using your display URL, but now let's talk about these specific components of when you're writing your ad, and I'm going to show you some examples as well here. So the first thing is, number one, is that your city name is in the ad. So this is something that, if you were managing a Google AdWords campaign for a company that was selling goods and services, like my buddy, who they sell over 50 million a year. They sell all over the country. Actually, I think they probably sell in multiple countries. They probably sell in Canada too. So again, this is much different. So these guys, because they're selling in such a broad area, they're not going to have the city name in the ad. But when your ad, since you're only targeting your specific city and you have the city name in the ad, that's going to give you a huge advantage. As a matter of fact, let me tell you a quick story of how I would actually do this. I actually was recently approached by someone who was starting a big startup, and he's still in the process of raising money, and so he had some initial conversations with me, and he wanted to start this thing out in like 10 different cities and then expand to like 30 different cities. And he said, well, what do you think is the best way to go about this? And I said, all right, well, don't reveal this secret to anyone, but I'll tell you, because you're a good friend of mine. We've masterminded together for a long time, so I'll tell you what I would do here. And what I would do is I would actually look at those initial 10 cities that we were going to target, and I would set up separate campaigns for each one of those cities, and I would put the city name in the ad. So I would actually take the time. Most people would just set up one campaign and run it across all 10 of those cities. I would actually break out a different campaign for each city, just so that I could put only that city name in the ad. So when someone from Reno is searching, they see the ad that says Reno. When someone from Philadelphia is searching, they see the city name that says Philadelphia in the ad. So that kind of relevance really helps. So I want you to really understand what a huge advantage it is, not only to have the Google Places in the ad, but to actually have the city name in the ad as well. So here's an example, right? And I like to use it in all caps if you can. If you have a city like Vegas or Reno, you can put it in all caps. Vegas IRS attorney or Las Vegas IRS attorney. So test different things. Test one where you have the city name in all caps. Test one where you have the full city name not in all caps. So city name in the ad is very, very important for local business ads. This is a huge advantage that other people can't do. Number two, and you've heard me speak about this already, so I'll just make this part real brief. having the free consultation or free quote or free initial visit in the ad, having something for free, or actually if you look at the next one, number 3, as we move on, watch this free video. So if they have a free consultation, free quote, free initial visit, or a free video on the landing page, those are all things that you want to mention in the ad. Okay. The third thing is that there needs to be a call to action. It can be as simple as call us. And what's great about this is because you have the Google Places in the ad, you can just say call us and the phone number will be right there at the bottom of your ad. So the phone number's there. If you don't have your Google Places in your ad, right, you would have to have the phone number in your ad, and you would say call us at this number, and you would basically be taking up half a line of space on your ad because you have to put the phone number. The beauty is we have the Google Places integrated in the ad, so our call to action can literally just be call us and the phone number will be right below. Or our call to action can be free consultation, contact us today. That covers number 2 and number 3 in one sentence, right? Free consultation and contact us today gives us something for free and the call to action right here, right? Or like I said, watch this free short sale video is another call to action, right? What's the action you want people to do? You want them to call you want them to call for a free consultation, you want them to watch this free video. There needs to be a call to action, and I typically like to put the call to action on the last line of the ad. So I typically like to have the city name in the headline, and I typically like to have the call to action on the last line of the ad. So, and really, if you look at this, these are the 3 main components, and it's just so simple. I mean, people really overcomplicate this sometimes. This is so simple. Literally, if you have the city name in your ad, and you have the free consultation, and you have the call to action, that's half your ad right there. So really, I mean, you're just plugging in the other half of your ad. This is the main component. And by the way, if you have your Google Places and your site links and you have these 3 components in your ad, I mean, you're 90% of the way there to having a successful ad. It's just testing a few things and plugging in the rest. So let's move on to the rest, to that last 10%. So number 4 is that there should be benefits in the ad. What's in it for your prospect? Why should they call? What are the benefits? And what you might want to do right now is literally, if you have a client or a prospect in mind, or once you land your client and you get into writing these ads, you'll think about, you'll write it down, or you'll even ask your client, what are the biggest benefits that you provide people? What's in it for them? Why should they call? What do you do? Right? So here are some examples of that. You might want to write down 5 of these benefits and just think about them and test different ads using different benefits. Okay, so for example, here's a huge benefit. You pay us nothing unless we get you a settlement. Right? I think another time I said we only get paid if you do, or something like that, right? Another benefit is 100% guarantee. Here's a different benefit. We've saved our clients over 20 million, right? 3 convenient Reno locations. Call us. That has a call to action in there too. And this is a benefit too. Again, local businesses, when people are searching in your local area, they might not want to drive all the way across town to the other side of town. So if they have multiple locations, I like to mention that in the ad as well. That's a good benefit. And that's something that would not be a benefit. If you were advertising on a nationwide scale, most PPC managers would never even think to mention their multiple locations if you're doing on a nationwide scale. But because this is local, if they have 3 locations or 2 locations in the same town and convenient for people, that's a great thing to mention. Here's another example of a benefit. Borrow money against your items or just outright sell them for cash. That I used for an actual pawn shop, and that one got great results for a pawn shop. They actually let people borrow money against their items or just outright sell them for cash. I mean, think about that. If you are going to a pawn shop and you want to sell an item, let's say a jewelry or something, or a watch, you might not want to give up that watch. You might, so borrowing money against your items and being able to pay back that money and get your item back, that to me was a huge benefit. So when I heard that, I said, oh, that's a good one. I got to use that. Or just outright sell them for cash, right? So people are looking for cash if they're going to a pawn shop. So I'm saying, borrow money against it. This way I'm hitting the people that if they want to keep their items, or just outright sell it for cash if you want to get the cash. So that's a great benefit there as well. Another one, let's say a debt settlement attorney or something like that. Settle your debt for pennies on the dollar. That's a benefit, right? So these are all benefits. And think about what the benefit is for. It's not difficult to figure this out, right? It's not rocket scientists. What are the benefits that your client is offering people? And they are what they are. They're only as good as what they are. You can try to get creative and hype them up as much as you want, but it is what it is. So ask them, what differentiates. You might want to ask your client, what differentiates you from your competition? Why are you better? Why should people call you? And so these are, again, some examples of that. So again, really, if you look at these top 4 components, number 1, 2, and 3 are the most important. That's half your ad, and then the other half your ad is probably a benefit, 1 or 2 benefits in there, and that right there is going to be a great ad that you have, especially with your Google Places and site links in your ad. That right there is enough. So I mean, look how simple that is, and these are going to get you incredible click-through rates. Let me talk about some other things you may want to test. I have here that these are optional because again, I just recommend testing different things. There's a lot of times, there's been multiple times where I thought I was writing, some killer ad. For example, one time I wrote an ad for a chiropractor, and I had the word stop in all caps, like stop your pain now or something like that, and it did horrible. Like people did, and I thought that was going to be a great one, like stop your pain now, but it wasn't. It was awful. It got awful results, but luckily I was split testing 2 other ads at the same time. So I quickly saw that this one was not getting a high click-through rate, and I went in and paused it. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to write here, and I suggest when you create a new ad group that you write 3 ads for that ad group initially to test, 3 ads. And what you're going to do is every few days you're going to go in, and I'll talk about this more in the next video about click-through rate and pausing your ads and leaving the winners to go. But essentially you'll come back every few days and you'll check and you'll see which ad, depending on how much traffic you get. You might check it if you're getting lots of traffic and spending hundreds of dollars a day, you're probably going to check it every day. If you're only spending $50 a day or $100 a day, you can check it every 2 or 3 days. While I'm on that note, actually, I want to mention that don't just, one day is not enough to show what's going on, right? So if you have an ad that you only ran it for 1 day and didn't perform well, that's not enough to determine whether it's a good ad or not. So you need to run ads for at least a couple days. Possibly you get different results on different days of the week. For some of my clients, Mondays and typically Mondays seem to be the busiest days for some local businesses like attorneys and chiropractors and things like that. And Fridays and Saturdays tend to be very, very slow. So again, that's why I think I said I recommend starting your campaigns always on a Monday, so you can start out on the right foot as well. So okay, back to the attention grabbers here. Okay, getting back to these attention grabbing headlines here, that these are optional. These are just other things that you can add here in your ad and just test. And then again, remember, you start off with 3 ads, you test them, you go in every couple days, you see which is the lowest performing ad, you can pause the lowest performing one and maybe write a new one. So you're constantly trying to beat your best ad here. So here are some attention grabbers here. For example, having the word alert in all caps and having the date, having like the month and year. So this is cool. I like doing something like this. Like it has like the city name, Reno Mortgage Alert, January 2013. Like if I saw that, if I was in Reno and I was searching for something about mortgages or refinance and I saw this ad, Reno Mortgage Alert, January 2013, that would definitely catch my eye. And I would definitely, look at that and probably click on that. So I think that's cool too. And by the way, it's so easy. Every month you could go in and change this to February 2013, March 2013, right? So you can easily go in and make this like fresh. It seems fresh. People see it. It's like people love breaking news, right? It's like breaking news, this announcement, right? So this is like alert, January 2013. So that's a cool attention grabber one. I like that. I've definitely used this one, alert and the date there. Another thing here, this is one I've used as well. Do not, and having not in all caps, I think I mentioned this in one of the last videos, do not call the IRS before getting your free consultation, right? So that's an attention grabber. Do not call the IRS, right? Someone's searching for IRS settlement or how to settle my IRS debt or whatever they're typing into Google, and they see an ad at the top that says do not call the IRS, that's going to stand out, right? So that's an attention grabber. This is another pretty popular one, the truth about whatever, watch this free video. One thing, again, I think I've mentioned this in earlier videos, do not do anything that's too hypey. Do not say, learn how to make $50,000 in 60 days watch this free video, right? Google does not like over hypey stuff. And the same thing with weight loss. Google doesn't like things about saying, lose 32 pounds in 3 days, or they don't like stuff that says, real estate investing, for example, how to make $20,000 a month with no money and no credit needed. They do not like that. So this is about as hypey as I would get, saying the truth about something like that, right? And these are local businesses, and we're doing very focused campaigns here. We don't need to get too hypey and too crazy. You can test some crazy things if you want, but typically everything I'm showing you is gonna generate great results for you. So the truth about this, watch this free video. That's another example there. Another optional one is questions, right? Like you can test doing this sometimes. I used to always have question marks at the end I used to always start with a question. When I was doing mostly nationwide campaigns, before I started doing mostly local businesses like I am now, I would use this quite a bit. Now that I'm doing mostly local businesses, I prefer to have the city name in there, and so I do it a little differently. But this is something you might want to test as well. If you have a good question, like stuck in an upside down house, or this one, like want to avoid bankruptcy, or want to avoid foreclosure. Like bankruptcy attorneys, a lot of their big pitch for bankruptcy attorneys is want to avoid foreclosure. A lot of people who do debt settlement, their tip is want to avoid bankruptcy, right? So, if there's a question that you can fit in there, that could be a good thing to split test as well, is having questions in your ad. But again, you want to split test 3 different ads, see which one is the top performing, and I'll make this little cheat sheet here available for you as well. And between everything else you're learning in this module as well as this ad, I mean, this is truly, don't be fooled by how simple this is. This is a simple formula that took me years and years and hundreds of thousands of dollars in testing to create. So I'm giving it to you so you can start out now on the right foot, getting great results for your clients from day one. So I hope you can see the power in this and really appreciate this. Now in this very important video, we're going to talk about CTR, which is click-through rate. And as you start doing more and more Google AdWords account, you're going to become very familiar with CTR, with the click-through rate. Okay, this is the amount of people that click on your ad. Okay, this is going to tell you whether you have a good converting ad or not. I have this video showing in this view because I want to show you an actual screenshot from one of my accounts that is currently running right now as we speak. So I'll show you this screenshot in just a second. But first I just want to go through some basics here of CTR. And again, basically, this is really, really important because if people aren't clicking on your ad, then they're not going to your high converting landing page and you're not getting the leads, right? So this is a very, very important part, is monitoring your CTR, making sure that your ads are getting high click-through rates, because a lot of times you'll write an ad that you think is the greatest ad in the world, but you'll find that it's not, because the CTR doesn't lie, right? The numbers don't lie. So it's very important to look at this very objectively and not be emotionally attached to any ads. You're looking strictly at the numbers and what's getting the highest CTR in this case. So I want to just kind of make a couple points here. The first one is that don't decide, you need at least a minimum of 100 impressions and preferably at least 300 impressions or more before you choose a winner, okay? So don't, if you just started your campaign and it's running and you're watching it every hour the first day that it's running, which you don't need to do, you could check it once a day and you'll be fine. Especially with the kind of volume that you'll probably be doing with a local business campaign, you could check it once a day and you'll probably be fine. But don't just go in there and you'll get 20 impressions. And if you look at this, I'm going to show you this in just a minute, but you'll see this is the number of impressions here, and you'll see I have 709 impressions for this ad, 52,000 impressions for this ad, 3,000. So, a lot of people don't just go in and start a campaign and you get 50 impressions and you say, oh man, it's not converting, let me pause this. I've seen many, many ads that start out where the first 30 or 40 impressions there's 0 clicks, but then all of a sudden after a few hundred clicks, after let's say 200 or 300 impressions, you're seeing a very high click-through rate. So really you need a minimum of 100 impressions, and quite frankly I think you really need a couple hundred, like 200 or 300. Now I say a minimum of 100 impressions because if you've gotten like 100 impressions and you've gotten 0 clicks, then you know something's wrong. Then you know that ad is probably not a winner. But if you got, if you had 100 impressions and you've only got 1 click, that's a 1% click-through rate, then I would probably let it go for another 100 impressions just to see what happens after 200 and 300 impressions. So that's why I say a minimum of 100. If you have 0 clicks after 100 impressions, you probably want to pause that ad and write other ads. But really you need at least 300 impressions or so to really see how it's performing, if it's good or not. And quite frankly, you'd want even more impressions than that. So just wanted to kind of share that with you. Don't start out with an ad and after the first day you pause it because you think it's a loser, but really it could have been a winner if you would have just given it a little more time. Like I said, I've seen many, many times where an ad starts out looking horrible and then it performs great at the end. Now here's the thing, a CTR of less than 1% is awful. You need to write new ads immediately if you have a CTR of less than 1%, okay? That's one thing to really know. And when I was creating this video, I was thinking, well, I don't even really want to tell them what's a good CTR or what's a bad CTR, because it all so much matters on your campaign. But as you can see here, I put CTR of less than 1% is awful, CTR of 2% or more is good, generally speaking, and a CTR over 3% is great in most cases. Now again, this is very generally speaking. I almost didn't want to mention this because it really all depends on your campaign. Like, I've had certain campaigns that had a CTR of 7%. And so if in those campaigns a CTR of 3% would not have been good, because I'm getting CTRs of 7% in that campaign. You know, but I wanted to give you some sort of an idea, so at least you have some sort of an idea what's really bad, what's really good, how, you know, so you can gauge how you're doing at least. And so I wanted to let you know that a CTR of less than 1% is awful. You need to pause that ad and write new ads immediately. If you've had at least 100 impressions and you have a CTR of less than 1%, that's awful. CTR of 2% or more is good, generally speaking, but it can still be improved, and the CTR of over 3% is great in most cases. So just kind of wanted to give you an idea. Now, another thing to keep in mind here is that you know, your top keywords. So make sure you're looking at this at the ad group level, not at the keyword level, because you'll have your top performing keyword. You might have a CTR of 10%, but then you might have other keywords that have a CTR of 1%. So we're looking at the average CTR for that entire ad group, and if you have a CTR of on average for that entire ad group that's over 3%, I would say that you're doing pretty good. You know, if you have one of less than 1%, if you're in between 1% and 2%, then you know you're not doing good, but you're not really awful. But you know, you need to improve there. You need to write some new ads. So I wanted to just at least give you some idea of what's good and bad and not. So that's why I made this. I mentioned that here in these slides. So please don't contact me and say, oh, well, I have a CTR of 10% in this one campaign, or this one keyword gives me a CTR of 10%. So you know, that means I'm doing way better than everyone else, right? Well, maybe. I don't know. It depends on your campaign, and it depends on your keyword. Like I said, you're going to have top keywords that could be 8, 9, 10% click-through rate, and you could have low-performing keywords that are 1% click-through rate. But they might still be good keywords to bid on. Even if you're getting a 1% click-through rate on certain keywords, doesn't mean they're not good keywords to bid on. But I'm looking at the ad group and the campaign as a whole. CTR of over 3% in most cases, I would say, is pretty great. Now, I want to show you here exactly what this looks like. This is a screenshot from an actual account that's running right now, and I'll go through what these things mean here. So the first column here, is status. Okay, and the status here you can see is approved. That means the ad is running. This one's paused, and that's why it's in light gray, because it's paused. This one's no longer running. And by the way, this one you can see is a 2.6 click-through rate. So you might say, well, why is this one paused and these ones are running at 2.39 and 2.28? Well, the reason is because this one is an outdated ad. So in the last video where I showed you some tricks, you know, where I said alert, January 2013, there's attention-grabbing headlines. So this is one of those ads that was mentioning a very specific month, like January 2013 alert, one of those. So that's why I paused that, because the time was up. So the timestamp was kind of up on that ad. So I paused it. That's the only reason why this one is paused, because generally you'd want your top three ads, the top three ads with the highest CTR. You can see this row here says CTR. The top three ads with this highest CTR you want to keep running until you can really fine-tune and find your one or two highest winners here. Okay, so let's start with the bottom here. I want to show you how I kind of started this campaign here. And typically I cut this off. This is a cut off screenshot, because on the left side of this screenshot would show you the actual ad and all the information of my clients, which I don't want to show. So I just kind of showing you this piece. So just realize that this is a screenshot of from a Google AdWords campaign, but the left side and the right side is cut off just to protect my clients' confidentiality and their information. So if you scroll down here to the bottom, you see these three are paused. Now, I believe when I started the campaign, I started with these three ads. Okay, and what I saw was, and you can see the number of impressions here. This row is the number of impressions. Okay, so you can see this one got 1,364 impressions before I decided that it was a loser. This one got 2,572 impressions before I decided it was a loser. This one got 10,000 impressions before I decided it was a loser. Now, when I started, let's say with these 3 ads, okay? 1.54, 1.91, and 1.92. Well, I realized after 1,000 or so impressions that these 2 were higher performing than this one. So I paused the lowest performing one. And this is what you're going to do. You're always going to go in every couple days. Once you've gotten at least a few hundred impressions or several hundred impressions, you'll pause the lowest performing one, like I did here. And then these 2 were running. And then what I did was I wrote another ad. Let's say it's this one here that I wrote, and I basically ran this one, this one, and this one. And then what I found a couple days later was that this one was performing well, and this one was performing better, and so I probably paused this one. Right? So then I went in and wrote another one, and I think I wrote this one next, and then I got 2.6 and 2.39 and 2.28, which meant I could pause my one with a 1.92% click-through rate. You're starting to understand how this works here? You're going to write 3 ads, and every couple days you go in and pause the lowest performing ad and write a new ad to try to beat your best ad. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. You can see this newest ad here only has 709 impressions compared to these ones that have thousands of impressions, but this new ad has a 3.1% click-through rate. So that's good. It looks like I might have found a new winner here. So I'm going to keep this one running. And again, I paused this one because the the date and time that I mentioned in the ad has passed. So that one's gone. So I have this one, and this one running. And probably right now, I could probably pause this one. I could probably pause this last one. I think I'm just testing it a little further. I'm trying to see a couple more things here. I want to gather a little bit more data because it's a very kind of unique ad that I created here. But basically, ideally, probably what I'd be doing here is pausing this lowest ad, 2.28. Probably in a couple of days, I will pause this ad, and then I'll have this ad and this ad running, and I'll try to create one more ad. And in fact, if you see real dramatic increases, like if this ad had 5,000 impressions instead of 709, let's say in 3 weeks from now I have 5,000 impressions here, and I still have a 3.1% click-through rate, and this one still has a 2.39, I'd probably pause both of these and just have this one at 3.1, because this is a dramatic improvement, 3.1 over 2.39 and 2.28. And it's a huge dramatic improvement over where I started. So just so you know, this first 1 or 2 weeks, you're going to be doing a lot of fine-tuning, and the results you're going to be getting for your clients in week 2 and week 3 are going to be better than even what you're going to be getting them in week 1. So you're only going to be improving over the first few weeks. Just want to kind of give you a heads up on that. But CTR is something you're going to monitor very closely, and you're going to always pause your lowest performing ads and then write new ones and keep trying to beat your best ad. So hopefully here I've beaten my best ad, and hopefully I can keep this click-through rate up over 3%, and I'll go in and pause these 2 probably and write another one and see if I can get it even higher, see if I can get it up to 3.5%. Eventually, after a couple months, you might find that you've reached a point where your winner is the ultimate winner, where if you have a click-through rate of over 4% and you can't even come close to getting that same kind of click-through rate, then you might just want to run just that one ad, right? So eventually you might find your ultimate winner, but I typically like to keep testing, and improving as I go on. And so I think this really gives you an idea of how you start with 3, pause your lowest, keep the 2 running until you get a better one, then pause the next lowest. So every couple of days you're going in, you're pausing your lowest converting one, and you're writing a new one to try to keep beating your best ad and keep getting that click-through rate up over 3%, over 4%, till you have really high converting ads. Remember, the higher the click-through rate, the lower your cost per click is going to be. Google rewards people that have a high click-through rate. They see you as more relevant. If people are clicking on your ads, that must mean you're more relevant. So it improves your quality score, it lowers your cost per click. It's just really beneficial to have a high click-through rate. It's very, very important to watch this and monitor this. It also means that, for example, right, this one has a 1.54% click-through rate. This one has a 3.1. That's actually pretty much exactly double, right? 3.1 is 1.54 times 2 would get us to 3.08. So this one is actually, pretty much double what this means. Now, what that means is if it's double, it means they're going to get double the amount of clicks. And again, they're going to your high converting landing page, so it should mean that they're getting double the amount of leads, right? You double the click-through rate, you could potentially double the amount of leads going into that business. So very, very important to monitor this and fine-tune this and keep writing new ads. And like I said, I've given you lots of great suggestions that should start you out on the right foot. But again, you never be emotionally attached to any one ad. Never think that your ad is the greatest ad, because I've written ads that I thought were the greatest ads, and come to find out that they were not getting a high click-through rate. So the CTR doesn't lie. The numbers don't lie. So whatever you think is a good ad, doesn't really matter. It matters what the CTR says is a good ad. Whatever has a high CTR, that means it's a good ad. So I wanted to kind of give you a good understanding here of how this works and how you go in and pause and constantly improve your ads. And with the ad writing strategies I've given you, and with having your Google Places and site links in the ad, and with all the other strategies that you've learned in this program so far, we haven't even got to the advanced strategies yet, which are going to be just mind-blowingly awesome. I can't wait to share those ones with you. But just for now, you have a really great solid base, and you see what you have to do here to keep improving your campaigns and keep getting a higher click-through and keep getting more and more leads. So I hope you see the power in this and see how important this is for your campaign. Okay, now we're at the advanced strategies, and let's start with expanding or contracting your campaigns, right? And this is more advanced than most people would get, right? A local business owner starts a Google AdWords campaign, and then they usually just don't do much after that, right? So this is going to be a little bit more advanced thinking, which is really cool. Now, it's very important. Make a note of this. It's very, very important to get constant feedback from your clients, especially in the first few weeks, okay? Don't go starting a campaign and then talk to your client a week later, for example, and then find out that you blew through $1,000 and then your client tells you, oh well, yeah, all those people called for a certain type of thing, and we don't really do that thing, something like that. You just really want to be in constant communication with them, especially for the first first couple weeks especially. You want to ask them, are they happy with the quality of leads that they're getting, right? If they're not, then you're going to review all the keywords. You're going to look at what keywords are getting the most clicks. You're going to ask them for their feedback, because they know their customer best. They know their customer better than you do. So they know, and always ask this too when you're meeting with clients, when you're setting up a campaign. By the way, when I meet with a client for the first time, I'm already asking them this. Oh, what are the highest quality leads for you? What type of clients are you looking for? It's not like they're interviewing me. I'm interviewing them about, I'm already starting. I'm going forward as if it's already, I'm already starting to set up this campaign for you, and I'm getting into those questions. And they're like, by the time we're done with the conversation, they're like, wow, this person really understands, what I'm looking for. He's, really sharp looking. He's going to know how to put that together, right? So that's how you want to come across. So it's very, very important. And be in constant communication with them. And what we're going to talk about is expanding and contracting here if they're happy, which hopefully will be a lot of the time. But let me tell you something too. One thing I do want to mention is that the first week that you're advertising on Google, I probably should have made this its own slide, but just listen carefully. The first week that you're advertising on Google, you're going to have probably a slightly higher cost per click, and plus you're still testing your ads. You don't have a winning ad yet. So as you get into your second and more into your third and fourth week, you fine-tuned your campaign a lot. A lot of times from the first week that I'm starting out to the fourth week, I could be getting twice as good results in the fourth week. So just keep that in mind, that if you don't get results from day one, that's okay. It's okay to kind of start slow and just know that Google, if it makes sense, right? What Google does, right? Think about it. If you've been advertising for 2 years straight and one of your competitors just jumps onto Google advertising today, obviously Google gives a little bit of a favorite to the person who's been advertising a little bit longer. But if you start testing your ads from the beginning and start getting high click-through rates on your ads, then you'll be able to get up there really quickly and get a lower cost per click like those guys are. Okay, if you show Google that you can get a high cost per click, a high click-through rate, that you can get a high click-through rate showing that your ads are very relevant, people are clicking on your ads, and you run ads for a couple weeks, then your cost per click will go down, your positioning will go higher. So just to give you a heads up on that as well, that your first week is going to be your toughest week. So just a heads up on that. So let's keep moving forward here to contracting a campaign. So here's an example. Let's say that you land a new client and you run ads for them for the first week. Let's say you do $100 a day for 5 days, and then they say, well, you know what, we got a lot of calls, but either the people said that they were on the other side of town and they couldn't make it here, or they were calling for something that we don't do, or whatever the case may be, right? So here's a few things that you can do to contract a campaign. And this is why I say it's very, very important to start. I've been saying this throughout the whole program. You've probably heard it so many times that I say start with a very focused campaign, because this first week is very important that you stay really focused focused only on the highest converting keywords that you think and that the client thinks. You're going to be staying in communication with them, asking their feedback. What do you think your ideal client is typing into Google? What do you think, what type of clients are you looking for exactly? So that's the things that you want to be in constant communication with. So if you need to contract a campaign, here are some things that you can do, and then we're going to talk about when you expand a campaign to get them more traffic and still wanting to do it again, piece by piece. Start with a very focused campaign, and then you expand a little bit, expand a little more, expand a little more. The whole time you're doing quality control, staying in communication with your client, making sure that the leads are good, and then it's really only for the first month that you need to do this. And then after the first month, you pretty much should have it dialed in, and again, you can start earning more money while doing less work. So got to really be sharp, and we're going to talk about some things about how to be really sharp about expanding and contracting campaigns here to make sure you get those great results for the client in the first month, get over that initial hump of that first month, and make it a long-term client where you get paid over and over while your workload goes down dramatically. So the first thing here, as you can see on the screen, is reducing the Google Places, obviously also called now Google Plus Local. I've been saying Google Places for so long, so you know what I mean if I say either one of those. Reduce the radius in your ads from 50 miles to 20 miles. Okay, so when you add your Google Plus Local account into your Google AdWords ad, then it tells you it gives you an option to choose. Do you want your ads to show when people search from a 20-mile radius, a 50-mile radius, or a 100-mile radius? So in the previous video, I think I mentioned a lot of times I start with a 50-mile radius. Well, if you want to contract a campaign, you would go to a 20-mile radius. So this means, think about this, these are very, very high quality leads. This means that someone, let's say for a chiropractor, someone is searching for a chiropractor in Google, and he must be within 20 miles of your office. Right? That's a pretty good lead. Someone who's searching for a chiropractor within 20 miles of your office. It's not going to get much tighter of a focused, high-quality lead than that. So really important, and that's a great one to do there as well. And remember, we're always integrating this Google Plus Local, Google Places into their AdWords. It's very, very important. Reducing the keywords is the next thing you can do, especially any general keywords that are not very focused, right? So, for example, for a chiropractor, if you were bidding on the word back pain, that's a little bit more of a general keyword than, for example, chiropractor is. That's why I probably wouldn't start in my first week you doing back pain. That would be something that I would add later on. Okay, so staying really focused. So I know that obviously someone who's typing in chiropractor or chiropractic or something like that, I know that that's a very focused keyword. Okay, someone who's typing that in is looking for a chiropractor, right? Someone who's typing in a HARP 2.0 refinance, they're specifically looking for a HARP 2.0 refinance, right? Those are very specific keywords. It's not like if I was bidding on, if in the mortgage case, let's say I was bidding on the keyword, refinance in Texas, okay? That would be a very expanded campaign if I was bidding on a keyword like refinance in Texas, because you're going to be competing against a lot of people, not just in your own city and state, but even nationwide companies that are competing to get refinances in Texas, right? So again, keeping it very focused, having the Google Plus Local in your ad, reducing it to 20 miles, focusing down, narrowing down the keywords even more, and lowering your bids a little. Again, keeping in constant communication with your client, I would recommend, when you reduce the keywords, you look at the keywords that are getting the most clicks, and you go to your client and you say, hey, these are the keywords that are getting the most clicks here. What do you think? What do you think we should reduce? Obviously, if we want to get a higher quality lead, if you're saying that the leads weren't as high of a quality as you wanted them to be, or they weren't the exact type that you wanted them to be this week, which, by the way, everyone always wants a better quality lead. No matter how good quality leads and how many you get them, they always want more leads and they always want a higher quality lead, okay? So they're always going to be pushing for more, but usually you're getting them really good and they understand the value of what you're getting them. So again, ask them. They know their customer better than you do. If you need to reduce keywords, ask them what keywords they think should be reduced and which keywords are most important to keep, okay? And then lower your bids a little bit, okay? So if they're thinking that, if you spent a lot of money and didn't get a lot of high quality leads in the first couple of days, again, we're only talking about a few $100s here. That's why you start and kind of test a little bit slow, and then once you've got it dialed in, you can increase ad spend from there. But lower your bids a little, I guess, in that case. I don't like to do this. I really like to be number one on the page, to be honest with you, especially with local business advertising. I've seen that it's just a huge advantage to be number one on the page. Even a high advantage over being number 3, or definitely being over number 4, because number 4 starts getting on the right side of the page. Once you're on, positions 4 through the bottom of the page there on the right hand side, you're really 4 and down is you're really not getting a ton of traffic, especially compared to being number 1 on the page. So for me, I love to be number 1 on the page. If it's very competitive and it's a very high cost per click and my margins are very, very slim, then I'll probably aim to be like number 2 or 3 on the page, only in that case. So if I needed to contract, again, I might lower my bids a little and shoot to be like number in between, like average position of 2.5, right? Like in between 2 and 3, something like that. So that I always want to be in the top 3 there at the top of the page. Always want to be at the top 3, because those are the ads that that's the first thing that catches people's attention and their eyes when they go on a page is those top 3 ads on the top of the page. So once you go to number 4 and down, you're on the right-hand side. People don't look there as much. You don't get as many leads. And so again, I like to be number 1, but if my margins are really slim or my clients' margins are really slim, then I might shoot for like between 2 and 3. So just keep that in mind. You can lower your bids a little as well. Now, here's something that's really important, is because I've driven lots of leads a lot of times, but there's a big difference between an attorney who has a professional sales team, people that know how to answer calls and get people in for a consultation and close the consultation and turn those leads into a lot of money, and the other guy down the block who, hired his niece, to do the desk work, and she's answering the phones and taking the calls and has had no sales training or anything like that ever in her life. Okay, think about this, right? This is real stuff out here, and these people affect your results dramatically. I mean, a lot of times, if you think about that, for an attorney, man, there's been a couple niches that I've worked in where literally, even the owner said that those deals were lost, that they should have been converted, and we're talking about clients that could have been worth $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 and more, right? And now, if they just land one $20,000 client out of all the leads that you send them, you've paid your way for a few months, right? If you land one of those every month, you're golden, right? So it's really important that this is a big deal. So really try to ask them, are your people, I always ask them, are your people trained in sales? Whoever's answering your phone, are they always available to answer phone? It's really not good if these calls go to a voicemail. A lot of people don't leave voicemails, so it's really bad to have it go to a voicemail. If they're not trained at all, you might want to consider going and having like a 1-hour meeting with them and talking to them about getting people in for the appointment, setting the appointment, getting people in, whatever it is that is the goal of that business, and just really focusing on that, making a list, following up with people that, don't call back or don't come in or whatever the case may be, right? Doing a follow-up, it's a huge difference between businesses that do this and really can close the sale and businesses that don't. And a lot of times your job may depend on it. So you got to make sure, even though you can't really directly control it, or maybe you can if you tell them that you want to be more involved in their sales side as well, but really ask about it and really make a push for them to train their people and really do their best to convert those leads. Because think about that, right? A salesperson who can convert 1/3 more leads, could be the difference between that business making a ton more money and reinvesting a ton more money with you and you making a ton more money. So it's a very important piece of the puzzle that unfortunately you can't fully control, but make some sort of an effort to make a point of it. Okay, the next thing you can do to contract a campaign here is write not only new ads, but different types of ads. So hitting a different angle with your ad, right? Completely switching it up. So, if you were hitting one benefit in the ad, in one ad, and, and they're not too happy with that kind of a quality of lead, take a totally different angle on the ad. For example, too, a lot of times the ads that you think will be best, like for a chiropractor, one time I thought that having stop back pain and having stop in all caps and all that kind of stuff would be the best ad, but really it turned out that people were more likely to click and more happy when you talked about that they had a couple of convenient locations in town or something that maybe wasn't so in their face. So a lot of times you think you're doing great copy and you think this is a killer ad and whatever the case may be, but really the numbers don't lie, and So don't get too attached to anything, and just try different things. So take different angles, take a couple different angles, switch up the ads, and again, if something doesn't work, just switch it up and try something else. A lot of times you wouldn't believe what does work. So those are my tips there for contracting a campaign. And now let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to show you in future videos about expanding campaigns here. So let's look at what you can do now when, hopefully this will almost always be the case, when your client is right out the gate completely happy and is saying, awesome, great leads, we already made all our money back that we spent for the month, and let's keep going, right? So it doesn't always happen right away. Sometimes you have to do some fine tuning there in the beginning, but the goal is that they're going to want to expand their campaign. And you know what? You want to seek out businesses that are looking to expand. You want to work with an attorney who's entrepreneurial and who's thinking about opening up 3 different offices in town, or practicing in 5 different areas of the law and expanding and being the #1 attorney in his town. Those are the type of people you want to work with, it's better to work with those type of people, I've found, than trying to work with someone who's just content with, oh yeah, if I could just land, a couple of clients a month and, make a 10-15 grand a month or whatever, and work out of my little office here or whatever. That's not really the client that I'm looking for. I'm looking for, multi-million-dollar business, someone who's looking to build a 10 million, 20, 50, $100 million a year business. Those are the type of people that I want to work with, and people that have that mindset. And so those are usually the people that do have a good sales team, that know how to convert your leads, that have a plan in mind for how to grow it, and you're just there, and because you're doing your job, you're enabling their business to grow. And I mean, that's just it's so much fun. You make a lot of money doing that. And so that's what we're going to talk about here is some ways to expand the campaign, because that's really cool. So the first thing, obviously, you could do is you're going to increase the Google places, right? We talked about in contracting a campaign that you might decrease the Google places, but from 50 miles to 20 miles. But if you want to expand a campaign, if you're having great success and your client says, yes, it's going great, we want even more leads, let's raise the campaign, then you would actually expand out a further radius. So I would probably expand from 50 to 100 mile radius. Depending, of course, on what the niche is. You got to also use some common sense here with the radius, right? So if you know your area, is someone going to be willing to drive 100 miles to see that person or do business with that person? Or not even just 100, I would say like 60 or 70 or 80 miles, right? Because you can either go from 50 mile radius to 100 mile radius. So if you go to 100 mile radius, so for example, like attorneys a lot of times think that, yeah, people would drive 60, 70, 80 miles to come work with me and do business with me. Whereas, maybe a chiropractor, probably not. Maybe someone wouldn't drive 70, 80 miles to see a chiropractor, right? I know I wouldn't. So use a little bit of common sense there as well. Like mortgage lenders, they can do business in a large radius. They could easily go out to a 100-mile radius. Attorneys, a lot of times, depending on the type of attorney. But again, so use some common sense there. And just know that when you expand to a 100-mile radius, that means your ads are going to be shown now to people that live, obviously, within 100 miles of that location. So the next thing you could do again is expand your keywords. And like I said before, talk to your client because they know their ideal customer better than you do. So go to them with the keywords that have been getting the most clicks. Say, okay, these have been doing good for you. If we were to expand out and make this a little more broad, what would you do? Okay, so a lot of people do, it's funny, a lot of people do a lot of keyword research on their own. Using all the Google keyword tool and spending hours and hours and searching for all these keywords and all that, which again, when you're starting out with a very, very focused campaign, I don't think you need to do that. I think obviously you want to look through those tools and see what ideas you get, but you're not building out some extensive, comprehensive campaign with hundreds of different keywords, not at first. That's what you'll expand into once you start doing good with your focus keywords. So, but I think the best thing overall, better than using a keyword tool, is going to your customer. Asking them, what would your ideal customer type into Google, right? Those are the best kind of answers that you can get. So instead of assuming what you know, or instead of letting Google tell you what's getting the most searches from their analyzer or whatever the case may be. So really talk to them and ask them and expand. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, and I'm going to tell you more about this in the next video, go into a little more detail, is a remarketing campaign. So I'll get into that a little more in the next video, but just to give you an idea, remarketing campaign is basically you have a code on your landing page that when people hit that landing page, then whenever they go to other websites on the internet, your ad shows, your Google ad. Any website, which out of like 20 websites, typically 5 to 10 of them will allow Google ads on them. So pretty much they're going to see your ad again. So once they hit their landing page, it's basically like stalker ads. Wherever they go, your ads are going to follow them. And so, believe it or not, I never understood this at first. I always said, well, if someone hits my landing page and they don't call, do I really want to spend money on ads trying to target those people? But the answer is yes, because number one, remarketing is a lot cheaper than a normal click. The cost per click on remarketing is usually very, very cheap, like a couple bucks or less, depending on the keyword and the niche and all of that. But it could be a couple bucks or a buck or less when, you could be talking about a search cost per click of potentially $7, $8, $10, and then you have a remarketing cost per click of only $1 or $2 compared to that. So you're basically getting people who already searched for a certain thing and they hit your landing page. Maybe they just weren't ready at that time. Maybe you can hit them with a different message. So that's some things that we'll talk about, and I'll show you the banner ad as well as some different ways that you can use remarketing. Banner ads is the next thing. So you can actually use banner ads in your remarketing campaign as well, which I highly recommend. And then we'll talk about just doing other banner ad campaigns. It's known on Google as image ads or on the display network. These are image ads that run on the display network, if you want to get technical and know all the Google terminology about it. But effectively, they're just banner ads that show up on websites. Google has a fancy name for them. They're image ads, according to Google. So that's cool. Anyway, Bing and Yahoo, which run on the platform called Microsoft Ad Center, is the next thing that you can do. And we'll touch on that in a future video, as well as Facebook ads. So again, we'll get into all of these ones in more detail in future videos. And this will be real good content for you to learn, as well as in addition to what you just learned in this video. Alright, now in this video we're going to talk about expanding a campaign using banner ads on the Google Display Network and in your remarketing campaigns, okay? So I'll show you how to set up your remarketing campaigns and your display network campaigns as well, but I want to show you some of these banner ads, and again, they're called image ads by Google. So when you go in and you set up your display network ads, you'll see it says image ads, but I call them banner ads because that's what they're kind of known as, is banner ads. And so any website that you go on where you see a banner ad, a lot of the times those are Google banner ads. As a matter of fact, it's estimated, I think, that out of 20 websites, probably about 5 to 10 of them will accept Google ads, and Google banner ads is what I found to be the most effective of those type of ads that you're going to run on the Google Display Network. You can run text ads, same way as we've been running ads, just simple text ads. But when you're on a website, like let's say on a blog, and you just see a little text ad in the bottom right hand corner, it's a very, very low click-through rate, whereas the banner ads have much more visibility on a website and get much, much more clicks. So Google Display Network is a huge source of traffic. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. It's a huge source of traffic, and with banner ads, you can really get your message out there very, very quickly and really dominate a certain area. So let's get into it. Banner ads are they're like a billboard, except way, way better, because you're not stuck in a 6-month contract like a billboard will get you in, right? And you could turn it on, you could turn it off at any time. You can have it only run during the times that you want it to run, right? So again, like for example, from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. or from midnight to 6 a.m. in the morning is not a very good time actually to be running ads. As a matter of fact, the quality of lead and the amount of leads that you'll get during that time will probably be very low, and you still might get clicks. So the clicks around that time are found to be not as good. So again, imagine having a billboard that you can only pay for when people took action or clicked on it or showed interest, and you only had that billboard, you're only paying for that billboard at the exact times that you wanted to, right? And that's what this really is. These banner ads are like a billboard on a website. When people are looking at a website, they're going to see your banner ad, sort of like how they would see a billboard when they're driving down the street. So here's the great thing about banner ads again, is you can choose the websites and or the keywords that you want to target on the Google Display Network. So remember, I already showed you how to set up a Google Search Network campaign, and we called the campaign Search, and then we would set up a separate campaign here called Display Network campaign, and then we'd actually set up a separate campaign again for remarketing. So in the end of the day, if we're expanding our campaigns, our Google campaigns, we would have at least 3 campaigns. We'd have the Search Network Network campaign, the Google Display Network campaign, and the remarketing campaign. At a minimum, you would have those 3 campaigns if you have an expanded account that you're working on. So again, I'll show you this in a little bit, how you set up, how you basically can choose the websites or keywords that you want to target on the Google Display Network. You can also obviously target only people that are viewing a website from your local area. So again, if you want to only show your ads to people that are viewing websites in your particular city, you can do that. I mean, this is just really amazing thing. You're going to get a lot more clicks on the display network with your banner ads. You're going to get a lot of clicks for a lower cost per click. Okay. However, you need to know that it's not as high quality of a lead as Google search leads. Okay. Remember, we spoke about the difference here. When someone is searching on Google, right? If someone's searching for an attorney, searching for a mortgage lender, searching for a particular need that they have in Google, and they find your ad at the top of the page, they click on it, they go to your high converting landing page, and they call you. I mean, that's about as high a quality lead as you're going to get. That's someone who's looking, someone searching for a chiropractor, like we said, is probably looking to hire a chiropractor, go to a chiropractor that week. Okay, so Google search is the highest quality lead that I know of, hands down. So right now what we're talking about with the banner ads are sort of like billboards, but again, they're much better than billboards. You'll get a better return on investment on banner ads than you will on billboards, because you can choose the websites, you could choose the keywords. So assuming like on a blog, right? So let's say you're a mortgage lender, you could have your ad only appear on Realtor.com if you wanted, or certain real estate websites where people are searching for homes or something like that. Or if you want to try to target people who are looking for refinances, you might target websites like Home Depot or Lowe's, where a lot of homeowners are searching those websites potentially, right? So you have a very much more targeted than just putting up a billboard and hoping a bunch of people drive by. So much more targeted. You're only targeting people in your area. And so again, like I said, you're going to get more clicks for a lower cost per click. So if you're typically paying $7-8 a click on the search network, you might only pay $1 or $2 a click for your banner ad clicks, but it's not going to be as high quality of a lead. So keep this in mind. Typically on the search network, with my landing pages, the ones that you see from the landing page builder, typically you'll get about a 10 to 20% conversion from the search network if it's a good targeted campaign. So out of 10 people that search your 10 people that click and go to your landing page, out of every 10 people that hit your landing page from the search network campaign, where they're searching you, they're searching chiropractor Las Vegas, they're clicking on your ad, they go to your landing page, about 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10, right? About 10 to 20% of those people will call and take an action on average. That's my stats. I can't vouch for anyone else other than myself, but that's about what I've seen from the search network. Now with the banner ads, it's much less than that. You might only get 1 call for every 20 clicks on your banner ads. However, remember that you're paying less for the banner ads per click, so it still is more traffic. So this is why you don't start with this. Remember, you start with a focused search campaign, which brings you the high quality leads, and then as you're expanding, you expand to this because you could still get a lot more traffic and a lot more leads from this. Now, another thing that you really need to know here is that you can spend a lot of money on banner ads if you want. For example, I had a client that was spending about $10,000-$11,000, let's say, a month on the search network, and then was spending another close to $15,000 on banner ads. Okay, so it just goes to show you, and he could be spending even more, by the way. There's almost no limit to how much you could spend with banner ads, because again, you want to start focused. So at first, when you start your banner ad campaigns, again, you're going to be focused. Also, you're going to potentially choose the websites that you want to have your banner ads show on, or you're going to be choosing your keywords. So for example, if there's a blog that's talking about mortgages or the HARP refinance, then you would have your ad show for that keyword, because the keyword HARP or the keyword refinance would be on that page, so that would trigger your ad to show on that page. So that's how it works with the keywords. So again, if that keyword is on that page, then your banner would be triggered to show on that page if you target specific keywords. Or you could just choose a specific website, and then your banner will run on that specific website, if that website accepts Google Ads, of course. Not all websites do, but many do. So the thing is, again, you can, depending on how broad you want to go, I mean, there are personal injury attorneys, right, that have billboards all over town, spend lots of money on TV advertising and all that sort of stuff. Well, this is a far more effective way for them to spend their money, and they could probably spend 15, 20 grand a month in a major city if they wanted to on banner ads. So it's a huge source of traffic. It's a huge way to expand. Whereas, for example, if someone is searching for a personal injury attorney in your city, you might only be able to get there's only a certain amount of people searching for that per day, right? There's only a certain amount of people that are going into Google and typing in that search and then going to click on your ad. So after, $10,000, $15,000 a month, they might not even be able to spend any more on the search network, right? They might be spending as much as they could possibly spend on the search network, and that might only be 10 grand. But now when you add the banner ads in there, now they could be spending another 15 grand. So now they could be spending 25 grand a month. Of course, the numbers all have to make sense, and that's why you start focused, make sure they're getting results, then expand a little more, expand a little more, and expand a little more. And eventually, if they're just profitable across the board, then they just might want to have their banner ad running on every website for someone that's searching in their city, right? If they just want to dominate and be all over the place, they just might want their banner ads everywhere. They want everyone, if they're just getting billboards left and right or spending money on TV, then they might just want their billboard on every website for everyone in that town that's searching. So that's how you can really expand a campaign a lot and get a lot of traffic with banner ads. Now, I don't recommend, you don't need to go on any other networks or do any other type of banner advertising on other networks. You have so much traffic that you can get from the Google Display Network with your Google image ads. We call them banner ads here. The Google image ads, you can just get so much traffic that don't even think about going to any other, as far as I know, I don't need to think about going to any other networks or trying to run banner ads through any other networks that claim that they can get me great results. I know that Google is Google and that I'm going to get what I pay for with Google. So I would stick to running my banner ads on Google. Now, you're in for a treat here, because I'm actually going to give you a proven high converting banner ad template. So you're in luck. I'm hooking you up with the exact template that's proven to work. Now here is the example of that template. I just filled in, this is not a real, I have not used this exact banner with these words on it, the California residents, if you've been injured, maybe entitled. That's not the point. The point of it is not for you to look at the words. The point is that this is the banner. So basically you just change the words on this banner, and there is your proven high converting banner. This banner, it's amazing actually. There was one client that I had that I created this banner for him, and he also had an ad agency that was all into, branding and all this kind of stuff. And I said, okay, well, let's create a banner. Let's have them create a banner ad for us that is consistent with your branding message, and we'll split test it against this banner. Well, this banner doubled the amount of clicks as the professional, pretty looking ad agency, professionally designed banner had. So, and this business is about getting clicks. You get double the amount of clicks, you get a lower cost per click, you get more leads. It's not about, it's not about looking pretty. Obviously, some clients, some higher end clients do want to have that branding and all that, and that's fine. But what I'm telling you is that this is the proven banner that converts, that gets clicks. Okay, there's the 300 by 250 version of it, and there's the 728 by 90 version of the same banner. Okay, I'll go back to that one in a second. These are the two sizes of banner ads, 300 by 250 and 728 by 90. These are the two sizes that really get the most traffic on Google. So, you don't need to go crazy creating 10 different banners in all different sizes to start out. I would just start out with a 728 by 90 banner and a 300 by 250 banner, which is exactly what these ones are. And this exact template that I'm giving you, that I'm hooking you up with, is in these sizes, 300 by 250 and 728 by 90, and that's what they look like. Okay, on this 728 by 90 one, in this example, I actually just had my graphics guy, I said, hey, take my high converting banner, and I I just want to show them an example, so I'm just going to make something up. Just write in there, California residents, if you've been injured, you may be entitled to financial settlement. Call us for a free consultation to see if you qualify. It's actually a bit long for this 728 by 90. You might want to try to keep it to 2 lines instead of 3 lines there, and try to have the 2 lines be a little bit bigger. But even still, these banner ads, they just simply stand out. You know, a lot of websites have a white background, and this just stands out like crazy on those white websites, and that's why they get so many clicks. Now, one thing I will say that you notice there, the first word of this banner ad, I have California in all caps. So I would recommend that the first kind of word on your banner ad would be your city name or state name there, okay? So I put in California residents to show you as an example. This would be an example of banners that a California personal injury attorney could run, right? Is basically this exact banner. So if you have a client that's a California personal injury attorney, they can run this exact ad, and it would probably pull pretty well for them. So you could see though, what you want to do is you want to have, again, sticking with what I've taught you in the previous videos about having the city name or state name, preferably your city name if you're only targeting that city, have that be in all caps, kind of the first thing in the ad. So for example, if I'm in Las Vegas and I'm on a website, just some random website, could be, you know, CNBC or CNN or whatever random website I'm on, and all of a sudden I'm in Las Vegas and all of a sudden I see this banner that just pops off the page that says Las Vegas residents attention, you know, or alert December 2012, alert January 2012, you know, what kind of some of the ad writing tricks I taught you in the last ad about using the word alert, but having the city and state or city or state name in the ad there. That's really the way to start it. But these banners are proven to convert, so you would simply put the city or state name first, and then you just write a little line here. And now what you do is you actually, because you're not setting up this banner campaign until after your search campaign has been running, right? You're starting with the search network, the focus campaign first. And what's going to happen is you're going to figure out which one of your ads on the search network is your highest converting ad, right? And you're going to take the ad copy from that high converting ad and put that here in the banner. Right, so if your highest convert, you know, so you, again, remember we talked about split testing 3 different ads, finding the winner, split testing more ads against those winners, finding the winner again, and after a couple weeks, after 2, 3, 4 weeks, you found your high converting ad. So take the copy from that high converting ad and use that for this banner ad. Again, having the city or state name in the banner, using this exact banner. And so as my gift to you, I'm giving you this high converting banner template. Again, it's a template. You don't use the exact words California residents if you've been injured. You switch that up. All you have to do is take this banner. And by the way, I don't use Photoshop or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not a technical guy. I have my webmaster and my graphic design guys, and I outsource all that stuff. I stick to what I'm good at, which is marketing and getting results from my clients. So all this kind of web stuff and changing this stuff, I always outsource it. So I don't know. Please don't ask me, hey, can I, you know, how do I edit this banner by myself? Truth is, I don't know. So just send it to send it to some graphic design person or whatever it is. Just download the template here from next to this video or in the resources section where you'll find these banners here, and just send it to your graphics guy and say, hey, this is the exact banner. All I need you to do is change out the words in blue that are underlined there. Just change out the words in blue, and instead of where it says California residents, just change it to, and then you give them the copy that you're already using in your highest converting ad that you've tested and proven to be the highest converting ad. So that's a great strategy, and that's all you have to do is just tell your person to change the copy here in this ad and keep the template the same. This exact ad is proven to convert. All you need is the 300 by 250 and the 728 by 90 banners to start, and put in your copy, and boom, there you go. You're hitting right off the bat. And by the way, I don't know if you really realize how valuable this is, what I'm giving you right now, but you know how long and how hard and how difficult it would be for you to create your own banner ad from scratch, and how much money you would have to pay to someone to create a high converting banner that would convert better than this banner would. So I just want to tell you, I hope you can see here how valuable this really is. It might not look like some professional thing, but what I'm telling you is that the numbers don't lie. This banner ad gets clicks, and I might have just saved you, a ton of time and getting great results for your clients right off the bat, when you might not have been able to get such great results with different banners. So I hope you appreciate that. I hope you see the power in this and stick to what works. This is a proven formula, so use these banners when you're ready to expand the campaign for your clients, and you'll get great results. And in future videos, we'll show you how to set up the campaigns and put these banners in there. But yeah, I hope man, this is so powerful. I wish I wish someone gave this to me a while back. So go ahead and use it to your advantage. Okay, now in this video, we're going to show you how to set up your Google Display Network campaign so you can run your banner ads. So here we are, you're in your home screen here in the demo account that we have set up, and we're just going to click on this button here. So you're on the All Online Campaigns tab, right? On the Campaigns tab, All Online Campaigns. This is the normal screen that I get to when I log in, and I click the New Campaign button right here. Again, if you don't see this button, New Campaign right here, then just click on the button on the top left that says All Online Campaigns, and then you should get to this point. So I click on New Campaign, and actually when I click on it, gives me the drop-down options here of 3 different options. And I'm going to actually choose for this one, Display Network Only, okay? Because this is going to be a Display Network Only campaign. So it's going to bring me here to the campaign setup page. So we already have our search campaign set up, and now we're going to set up our banner campaign. And it's taking a little while here for this to load for me for some reason. We're moving a little slow here today. But here we go. Okay, so I'm going to call the campaign, I'm going to call it Display Network. Right? Got my first one called Search. I'm going to call this one Display Network. And pretty much on the devices, I start with here, I remove the mobile devices for this one, for Display Network. This is just a personal preference, to be honest with you, because I just don't see it. I like from someone searching from their mobile phone, from like a smartphone, and we're running these banner ads, or if it's not a banner ad on the Display Network, it would be like a small text ad that's in the bottom corner or somewhere on the website. So I just don't, I think mobile devices are just too small to really have your banner ads and other text ads running. So I just don't trust it. I just don't trust that people aren't clicking on it by accident, that I don't trust that I'm getting good leads from that. So it's just a personal preference, but personally when I run Display Network ads, at least starting out, I typically only choose desktop and laptop and tablets with full browsers for Display Network. That's just my personal preference. Now again, you're going to choose your location, right? So you're going to choose, let me choose here, and then you're going to choose whatever location you're in. So, Miami, Florida, okay, say here. Choose that. And then we're going to have the languages. You could just leave it here. For Display Network, you can just leave it. Budget. Okay, let's say I have $100 a day budget here on this. You'll set your clicks on the next step. Delivery method, again, I like to have accelerated to show ads as quickly as reasonably possible, especially since I'm going to be doing time scheduling for this. Ad extensions here, because this is going to be strictly a Display Network, I'm not sure why they have this information, why they have this here, extend my ads with location information, but hey, may as well extend it. So this is where you can enter your Google Places again here. I don't know, I've never seen a Google Places information appear on the Display Network, so I'm not even sure why they ask for this, but if they are asking for it, you may as well put it in. It takes a second here to put in your Google Places information here in the ad extensions, and you can also put in a call extension, but I've never seen a Google Places or a phone number appear in a Display Network ad, so on an ad on a website, and especially if you're running banner ads, it's only going to show your banner. So I think these are irrelevant, but since they're giving you the option, you may as well put it in. As far as scheduling, again, what I would do is I would only have the banners running. You can do the time scheduling here, okay? So you see where it says ad scheduling, show ads all days and hours. I would edit that, and I don't like running from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I would say I would start, or first of all, you want to run it only when the business is open. Now, if they're expanding their campaign, a lot of times they're going to expand their campaign to run 24/7 to have an after-hours answering service. If that was the case, I'd probably still set it from 6 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. or something like that, and then copy to all days, right? So let's say I did that. even if they have an after hours answering service, I don't think I want to run my ads too much from midnight to 6 a.m. I just found that you get a lot of bad clicks, not a lot of leads, and you still do get clicks during those times. So I personally like to stay away from those times whenever possible. Again, if you're really, really trying to expand as much as possible, you can run ads all days and hours. For my remarketing campaign, which I'll show you how to set up in the next video, for the remarketing campaign, I do have it show all days and hours because that's only targeting people who already hit my website. So that's a little different. But for display network, I'd like to, first of all, you'd probably want to run it only when they have someone available to answer the phone. So if they only have someone available to answer the phone from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., then you'd only run the ads, from those times, right? And let's say they don't have anyone on the weekend, then on the weekends you do not running, right? Copy to weekends, not running. So that's how fast you can change the scheduling. Very simple, as you just saw. And again, so that's what you would do. Make sure they have someone available to answer the phone. If they do have someone 24/7, I'd still recommend running it from 6 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. just to avoid any bad clicks and bad charges. And otherwise, schedule it the same way you scheduled your search network campaign for when only when people are there to answer the phone. Okay, so you could do your scheduling there. I'll save that time scheduling. Ad delivery, ad rotation, you can just leave that as is. And that's all we need to do here. We don't need the social settings. So there we go. We're going to set up that campaign pretty much the same way we set up the search campaign, except just a little different. Ad group name here. I could just put display network again. I could call it the banner ad campaign. Let's say I call it banner ads. And let's say that my default bid, I'm going to put $3.05 or something. So here's another thing to note here. With these display ads on the display network, these banner ads and your text ads you run on the display network, remember, they're not as high of a quality of a lead, but they're a much lower cost per click. I would probably start with my banner ads with a maximum of $3.05, and you might even want to take it down a little bit from there, but I like $3.05 because it ensures I get a good position typically with my banner ads. So as you can see, you can bid way lower with banner ads, and so I would recommend just starting right here, $3.05, and see what average position it puts you in. And you always want to be obviously in the top 3 and preferably closer to number 1 or 2 with your positioning here. So with the positioning, it's not like on a Google search campaign where you'll be number 1, 2, or 3 on the page. But with banner ads, if you're bidding the highest and you have a high click-through rate, then your banner will get the most preference and be in the most prominent spot on that website. So again, that's why you want to still bid pretty good. A lot of people might only bid $1 or $2, but I would probably start a little bit higher just to ensure my banners get good positioning on the website. Now here you have the option to choose how to target your ads. We're going to do remarketing in a later one, so we're not going to do remarketing. We could do display keywords or use a different targeting method here, okay? So let's say we're going to do keywords. I think ideally I would recommend that you want to start with keywords, and I'll show you later on how you can actually, what kind of research you're going to do after. You're going to look at what sites you're appearing on, and you're going to check out some of those sites, and if they look like they're bad sites, then you're going to exclude those sites. So what's cool about that is that after you run these banner ads for a few days, let's say, it's going to start showing you some data that you can look at as to what websites your ads have been running on and which websites have been getting you the most clicks. And sometimes you'll find that some really weird websites are getting you lots of clicks. And I would recommend you actually go to those websites, type them into a web browser, and see what those websites are all about. And if they're not a good fit, what you could do is there's a button that allows you to exclude those websites from your ads showing on those websites in the future. So that's pretty cool. After you get some data, you can find out which sites are your ads are getting clicks from, and if any of them look like bad sites that you shouldn't have your banners on, you can exclude those sites, and that's how you can kind of fine-tune and improve from there. So with keywords here, Google recommends that you enter between 5 to 15 keywords per ad group here. And so for display network campaigns, so for this ad group, so let's say we want to enter 5 to 15 campaigns, so 5 to 15 keywords. So let's say, for example, again, let's just stick with the example we've been using. Let's say for a chiropractor, for example, obviously your keywords are going to be chiropractor, chiropractic. And the other thing about this is with the display network, you don't need to put in the exact match or anything like that. You don't have to put an exact match or phrase match or any of that stuff. You just put the keyword in, one keyword per line here. Okay. Now what I might do here is I might actually click this button as I start putting in my keywords, find related keywords, and let's see what the system suggests here. So chiropractor office, chiropractor den, chiropractic treatment. Yeah, so I don't need any of those. So chiropractor, chiropractic. Now for this one I might put back pain. Why? Because think about this, right? There's probably not too many blogs that are blogging about a chiropractor or have the word chiropractor on their blog. But there might be a lot of blogs talking about back pain or pain relief or something like that. So those are type of things that you might want to put into the display network, where I would not recommend using keywords like that in the search network, because at least not to start, right? I wouldn't be putting in back pain or pain relief or pain doctor or injury doctor or injury attorney even, right? Because a lot of chiropractors, they make a lot of money off of people who were injured in accidents as well. That's why a lot of chiropractors and attorneys work closely together, actually. So yeah, things like that. So you can go, what's different here with the mindset that you have to think differently with your keywords on your display network where you're going to be running your banner ads is what kind of blogs. For example, real estate is a huge niche where there's lots of real estate blogs and people are reading information about real estate and all sorts of stuff like that. Financial services is another thing where people are constantly reading, and there's tons of blogs about financial services and things like that, right? So you want to think about, where. What would be written on those blogs? So again, they're probably not going to be blogging too much. I mean, I would have the word chiropractor and chiropractic in here, and I don't think you need to go crazy with too many plurals. But I would put in chiropractors too. It's a little different with the display network. So here's what I would have: chiropractor, chiropractors, chiropractic, back pain, pain relief, pain doctor, injury doctor. That would probably be a decent one to start with. Okay, so then I would just hit this button here, add keywords, and then let's see what it says here for narrow your target even further. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with the narrow your target even further right now. None of this I would not mess with, because Google doesn't have as good a data as Facebook does for narrowing your target method. So I just wouldn't mess with that at all. So I could do save and continue here, and then you get to where you enter your ad. So again, just think about that a little bit differently, that these are going to be ads that are going to be appearing on websites or blogs or things like that where your keywords are triggered, where your keywords are on that website or in that blog or something like that. Okay, so then you get to your ad. Now here's the thing that's different here. You can enter your text ad. This is very similar to the search campaign, just a regular text ad. And I would recommend that you do enter one text ad. Okay, so I would recommend that you do enter one text ad into your display network campaign, just to have a text ad in there. Because sometimes certain websites don't have room for an entire banner ad, but they do have room for a little text ad. So I would recommend you do put a text ad in this campaign. So I would fill out and again, what I would use for this text ad here would be my highest converting ad that I've been testing from the search campaign, right? So I have my data from the search campaign, the highest converting ad. I'd use that here as the text ad in my display network campaign. Then the next one is image ad. So here we go. Now we're at the image ad. Now I can choose the file and the URL, and here it shows you the formats and the sizes. And like I told you before, the 300 by 250 and the 728 by 90 are the sizes that by far get you the most traffic. And that's why the banner templates that I've given you are for 300 by 250 and 728 by 90. Those are the ones that are the most prominent. They stand out the more. They'll get you the most traffic. So you don't really need to mess around and go crazy with a million different banners. I would just start with 728 by 90 and 300 by 250. And very, very simple. You just upload the image right here. You just choose the file. You upload it from your computer, right? So you're going to take the banner ad template that I gave you, send it to some designer, or if you know how to do Photoshop and edit the banner yourself, go for it. Again, like I said, I outsource all that stuff. But you just have someone change the words on that banner to the words that you want for your client, and then they send you the final version. It has to be a 50K max file size, so you might want to tell your graphic person the templates I've given you are less than 50K. I had my designer make it at a file size of less than 50K, but obviously you're going to need to change those and have your copy for your client put on those banner ads that I showed you. So you would just upload them here. The name of the image doesn't really matter. Your display URL doesn't really actually matter too much either with the banner ads, but you just enter your display URL of the website. You could put a / free consultation if you want, just like we had display URL on the search network. And the destination URL, of course, is where people will go once they click on your banner ad. So very simple, very straightforward. You'd choose the banner, you'd put it in there. You'd hit save, then it would give you an option to create another ad, and I would recommend you have one text ad, and you'd have 2 image ads, right? You'd have one image ad for the 300 by 250 banner, and may as well just bring it back up here from the last one, right? So we had, here's the 300 by 250 banner. Okay, we saw that one there, and then here's a 728 by 90 banner. So just start with those 2, and that would be 2 separate ads for you here, right? One text ad and then 2 image ads, one for the 728 by 90 and one for the 300 by 250. And then you just go save and continue to billing once you have those ads in there. So really simple, really straightforward, and that is the basic campaign setup of your Google Display Network campaign. Now, what I want to do in a future video is actually try to show you one of my clients' accounts who has been running Display Network ad and banner ads, because I want to show you how you can look at the data. After a week's worth of data you've been running your ad, then you can see which websites you've been running on and try to determine if those are good websites that you want your ads to run on or not. So that's a really cool thing, is looking at that data and then excluding any websites that you don't want your ads to run on. But that's it. I mean, very simple to set up your Google Display Network campaign. And remember, you can get a ton of traffic. You can just keep expanding your campaign even more, adding, set up another, if you want more traffic, if you say, hey, the banner ads are going great, client is getting lots of more leads from it, you want to expand the banner campaign, you just set up another ad group, add some different keywords in there, and make them more broad, right? So pain relief as opposed to just back pain. Pain relief would be something that would make you go even more broad. Or injury, just having the word injury by itself, right? The word injury is probably on a lot of different blogs, a lot of different websites. So that could have if you were an injury attorney, for example, that could be another one. Or a chiropractor looking to target, or a doctor looking to target people who are injured, right? That could be a good word that could expand you and get you a lot of traffic. So start though with your main core keywords and see how much traffic you get. Make sure, do quality control, talk to your client, make sure that after a week of running the focused banner ad campaign, results are going well, and then you can expand it from there. So yeah, really great way to get additional traffic, and as you can see, very simple to set up, and you have the proven high converting banner ad templates to already work with, so you're well on your way. All right, now we're going to talk about something that is a staple in every successful expanded Google AdWords campaign. Once you start expanding, one of the first things you're going to implement is a remarketing campaign. Remarketing campaigns are extremely effective. Google just recently made it much easier to set them up, so I'll show you how to set it up very easily in just a second. But they're very powerful remarketing campaigns. And basically what this is you're going to put a code on your site. I'll show you how to generate that code from within Google AdWords in just a second. You're going to generate a code that's going to be put on your website, on the landing page, right, where you're driving your traffic to. Google recommends putting it on all pages, but if you're driving your traffic to a landing page, you pretty much just need to have the code on that landing page. And what it does is that when someone hits that page, it then will show your ads pretty much everywhere that person goes on the internet that accepts Google Ads. And approximately out of 20 websites, Google estimates out of 20 main websites that an average person will search every day, about 5 to 10 of them accept Google Ads. That's what those are some stats from Google. So let's actually talk a little bit more about that and what they are. It's kind of like stalker ads, right? I mean, it's everywhere this person goes. After they hit their landing page, everywhere they go on the internet, they're going to start seeing your ads everywhere. People literally, I mean, I have clients that basically, obviously they land on their own landing page, so that everywhere they go, they see their own ads, and they're like, man, we're everywhere. Our banners are everywhere, right? So I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. Basically, with remarketing, it's on the display network, so you can use those same banner ads that I showed you, the same banner ad templates that I've given you. You can use those in your remarketing campaign. In fact, I suggest that you use banner ads in your remarketing campaign. You'll get a lot more traffic. You can also obviously add text ads, but I recommend adding banner ads as well. So your prospects, once they hit on your landing page, they go everywhere, they start seeing your ads everywhere, they're going to think, wow, this company is everywhere. You know, everywhere I go, I see their ad. So it gives you kind of a great branding. It gives you multiple opportunities to reach people, because this is an important thing to remember, okay? 80 to 90% of people that hit your landing page will not call, and that's from search traffic, from your search campaign. Remember I said from your search campaign, when people go in Google search and type in a keyword and it's your keyword, out of those people, 80 to 90% of them will end up not calling. They'll not be a lead, right? Because you only have about a 10 to 20% conversion rate. Now on the display network, when you're running, if you're just running banner ads, the conversion is even less than that. And on the display network, you could be lucky to get 1 call out of 20 clicks. But remember, we said that the clicks are also much cheaper on the display network. So remember, at least 80 to 90%, and if it may be more, of people that hit your landing page are not going to call. That's just the way it is. I mean, if you have a 20% conversion on your landing page from Google traffic, that's really good. We're talking about people that actually pick up the phone and call or enter their information in the form on the landing page. If you have a 20% conversion, that's really good. Typically with these type of landing pages, I see a 10 to 20% conversion on Google search traffic. So being that 80 to 90% of people that hit the page will not call, it's important. I mean, they obviously saw, not only typed your keyword into Google, they saw your ad and showed interest in your ad and clicked on it. So may as well remarket to those people. They're obviously more interested than someone who didn't take all those actions that they took. Now, one thing that's pretty cool is you could potentially send them to a different landing page. I'm actually doing this right now, where basically the main campaign goes to one landing page, but with the remarketing campaign, this client actually has a really nice website of their own. So in this case, I'm actually, for the remarketing campaign, going to send the client to their normal website. Okay, now I typically wouldn't do that, but this client actually has a really, really nice website, and it does have some good call to actions on it. So I'm still going to use the landing page as my main source of traffic, but then when I remarket to them, if they click on the remarketing ad, which a lot of them will probably do, I'm going to send them to the main website. So kind of hitting them with a little bit of a different angle. So if your clients have a really nice website, you might want to consider that, right? Just hitting them with a different angle, since they didn't call off your landing page the first time they hit it. But again, if your client doesn't have a really nice website, that doesn't matter. That's not the important part. You can always send traffic back to the same landing page again. Even if they hit that landing page once and didn't call, you do remarketing and you send them back to that same landing page. It's absolutely fine. I've been doing that for years, and it's been very, very effective. I'm telling you, remarketing leads convert really, really well. Again, I never thought that this would be the case. Originally, I always thought, well, if someone hits my landing page and they don't call, why do I want to keep trying to track those people down and spend money on ads, having them click on my ads again? Well, that's what I originally thought, but you know, the numbers don't lie, like I always say. So the conversion is great on remarketing campaigns. So that's something really important to consider. Very important to put this remarketing campaign in place. Now, according to Google, this is interesting. With your remarketing campaign, you will reach approximately 84% of the people that hit your landing page. So they hit your landing page, 84% of those people, you'll reach them with your remarketing campaign within a month. So that's pretty cool. That pretty much tells you that almost anyone who hits your landing page, you're gonna be able to remarket to them and get them again. One thing I do want to note here, a lot of times in different types of Google AdWords campaigns, a lot of times people, what they'll do is they'll set up their remarketing campaign so that it does not remarket to people who have entered their information and as a lead, right? But with us, we're not going to do that, because most of the leads for local businesses come by phone. So in this case, since most of your leads are calling and not entering their information, it doesn't really make sense to try to block people who have entered it's not the same strategy. So if you ever heard anyone else talk about remarketing, they might say, yes, you remarket, but you only remarket to people who didn't enter their information. Well, with a local business and with our landing pages, our goal is really to get people to call. That's the number one action we want them to take. We want them to call the number. So in that case, we don't know if they filled out the form or not. And so, it doesn't hurt. You can just remarket to everyone. Even if they've called already the office, they're going to see your remarketing ads, right? They hit your landing page. Even if they call, they're still going to see your ads wherever they go on the internet. And that's okay. I mean, look, if they call and they're interested, seeing your ads all over the internet might help them, actually follow through with the consultation and show up, or might help them, just might help show them that you guys are everywhere, and that, you guys are doing a lot of branding and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt even if someone has called from the landing page. And again, 80 to 90% will not have called. You're still going to be remarketing to those people because the code's going to be on the landing page. And if they call, there's still the remarketing campaign ads are still going to follow them around. Okay, so let's keep moving forward. Of about 20 typical websites, like I said, about 5 to 10 of those sites will allow Google Display Network ads. That's according to Google. Seems a little high to me, but I would say out of the major websites, that's probably right. Out of like the average person searching of 20 major websites, probably 5 to 10 of those will accept Google ads. So many of the prospects you will reach 10 to 18 days out of the month. So, not only are you going to reach these people one time within a month, they might see your ads, 10 times a month. So, I mean, again, this is really kind of, making sure that you're getting multiple cracks at someone that showed interest, and, in becoming a lead. So this is a very, very powerful campaign. Make sure you implement this remarketing campaign. Now, one thing I mentioned here, I just want to let you know so I don't start getting tons of questions about this. Please actually just look it up in the Google Help Center, or if you Google where to place your remarketing code, or actually when you generate the code, there's actually a link that says for instructions on adding this code to the page, click here. So just look at those instructions. But the main thing you need to know is that the remarketing code that you'll generate, which I'll show you how to generate in just a second, you simply paste that remarketing code on the bottom of the landing page before the closing body tag. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm not a webmaster. I don't know anything about body tags or code or anything like that. Okay, so this is one of those things where you're simply just going to have to pay someone. It's literally going to take them. If you don't know how to do any kind of web development yourself, this is something that would literally take 5 minutes for some sort of webmaster to do. Probably 5 minutes or less to do this. So if you have to pay someone, $15 an hour, and it takes them 15 minutes to do this, so you have to pay someone a few bucks, whatever the case may be, to put this on, that's just something you're going to have to do. So just want to let you know, as you start expanding your campaign, getting to more advanced strategies, and putting this on the page, if you don't know how to do it yourself, just get someone who knows how to do that. It's very, very simple and straightforward. You're just putting a code on a landing page before the closing body tag, okay? And again, here are the banners that I would recommend you use. The 300 banner and the 728 by 90 banner. You already have the templates for these banners. So those are the banners that I would recommend you use in your remarketing campaign. And then, of course, you're also going to put some text ads in there as well. And one thing I don't think I mentioned in the display network video, I think I said you just do 2 banner ads and 1 text ad. Well, obviously you want to split test those ads as well, so you could have multiple text ads. So I'd recommend writing a couple different text ads for your remarketing campaign, and then also using the banners as well. And you'll see that the banners get a lot more clicks than the text ads do. So very important to use the banners in your remarketing campaign. So now let's look at how to set up your remarketing campaign. Okay, so here we are now in our demo account again, and you'll see we have our search network campaign already set up. We have our display network campaign already set up that we already walked through, and now we're going to set up our remarketing campaign. So like I said, as you start expanding a campaign, you're going to have search campaign, you're going to have a remarketing campaign, and you're going to have a display network campaign at the very least. So let's look at, you just click on the green button here that says new campaign again. And what this is going to be is a display network only campaign. Again, remarketing campaigns are display network only. So you click the display network only button, and Google has made this a lot easier than it used to be to set up these remarketing campaigns, at least in my opinion. So now here we are, and what you can see is I'm going to call this, so actually you can just click the button right here, remarketing. So this is what's great about it. It makes it really, really simple here. I'll click the remarketing button, and that will trigger Google to automatically just set up this remarketing campaign for me. And as campaign number 1, I'm just going to change the name to remarketing. Okay. and I'm not going to load any existing settings. Just keep it like this. I just push the button remarketing, type the name remarketing, and hit the button set up remarketing here. Okay, and just hit OK. And here we go. It generated the code for me. It said add this code to your web pages right before the body tag. Okay, so that's right before the closing body tags. Okay, so you basically just grab this code. And by the way, if you send this code to a webmaster, there's actually instructions there. There's a link that says for instructions to add this, more information, go to this link. So again, you just would copy this here, hit continue. You should copy it, paste it to an email or somewhere that you have it. And make sure you do this because it's a real pain for me to find this code sometimes after I grab it the first time. I always have to go searching around for it. And so, yeah, just make sure you copy this and paste it somewhere. And then once you do that, you just hit continue. And then what's going to happen here is it's going to show the membership duration. I would probably leave this at either 30 or 60 days. I would typically leave it at 60 days, which means that your ads are going to follow people around the internet for 60 days. And here in the URL, you would obviously just enter the URL, the full URL, like the HTTP www dot whatever your URL is, right? So whatever the landing page URL is, you would enter right there, wherever you're driving the traffic to. So you would enter that URL in there, set the membership duration to 60 days, name the list whatever you want, and you hit save. And that would pretty much be it. So once you set that up, you click the All Online Campaign button and you're back to where you were before, okay? And you actually still have to go back again and set up that remarketing campaign. So basically what you did there the first time you go to set up a remarketing campaign, basically it takes you through the process of setting up your code and your remarketing list. And now you go back in there again into All Online Campaigns and you click the Display Network Only, click the remarketing button, again, name the campaign remarketing, and set your budget and do your thing there. Okay, so all this rest of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory like we already pointed out before. And let's see here, and then I just click save and continue. And here we are again. So basically it takes me now to where I can name my ad group now. So this is, as you can see, a little different. The first time I went to set up my remarketing campaign, it generated the code for me and created my list. Now I'm going through and actually setting up the ad group. So I'll call this ad group the remarketing ad group. Okay, and I created another list called remarketing demo, and I would always just choose the main list also. So I would select all the audiences. Basically, it's going to generate the code. You're going to put it on the website. With the local business campaign, with the local business campaigns like you're doing, you don't need some complicated remarketing strategy. You just need a very straightforward one. You put the code on your page, you add the lists to your selected audience. You just click those little buttons there and add your lists to the selected audience. And you're not going to target any keywords or placements or any of this stuff that it shows here. You do have to enter a default bid. I would usually put $3.05. I think that's a pretty good bid to start with on a remarketing campaign. You might only pay $1 or $2 per click, but I think $3.05 will ensure that your ad gets shown pretty well to those people. So that's what I would do there. And you don't want to do any of these other targeting options. You only want to do your selected audiences. So that just means that only the people that land on your page will be selected as your audience there. So I'll do that, and then I'll hit save and continue. And now I'm at the point where I create my ads. So there's an option for you to enter the text ad again. So write in a couple of different text ads to use here. And this is something you can get a little creative with, because remember, these are people that hit your site and now you're trying to get them to come back for a second time. So you can be kind of cool with your messaging if you want to try some cool messaging and something that you think might bring the person back. Don't scare them away though. Don't say, you left, we're going to follow you until you come back or something like that. Some people do some kind of funny stuff like that with their remarketing, but you just got to make sure you don't cross the line. Actually had one person where there was one of my clients, someone actually called into their business and said, your ads are following me all over the internet, make it stop. Like, are you guys capturing my information? Are you gathering information here? Like, the person was all freaked out that our ads were on every website they went to. They thought that we were like following them somehow. So just be careful. And then with the image ads, obviously you're going to put in your 2 banner ads. with the image ads, the banner ad templates that I gave you to put in for the image ads. So you have those there. The image ads are going to get a lot more clicks than the text ads, but test a couple different text ads and if you have a couple different image ads, you can test them. But if you don't, just use the templates I've given you, because I've tested them and those tend to perform better than pretty much any other template I've tried. So use those, and you have your text ad, and that's pretty much it. You just I'm going to hit skip ad creation here, but essentially, typically you'd enter your ads right there. So obviously it says there are no current ads because I need to add a new ad. So I need to add either a text ad or image ad to get this thing going. And obviously I need to add the code onto the landing page as well. But once I do that, and once I create my ads, this thing should start kicking into effect. Now, one thing to note is that it will take a few days typically for your remarketing campaign to kick in, because obviously people need to hit your site, then they need to leave your site, and if 10 people hit your site today and 10 people hit your site tomorrow and 20 people hit your site the next day, well, obviously after a couple weeks, then you'll have a couple hundred people that your ads will be following around. But at first, you might only have 10 or 20 or 30 people, so you're not going to get much traffic at the start. But within like a few weeks and within a couple months, you'll start getting a lot more traffic to your remarketing campaigns. You'll see it start to pick up steadily week by week by week as more people hit your page and more people are retargeted. You'll see that happen. So there you go. Pretty simple and straightforward to set that up, the remarketing campaign, and you just put the code on your landing page and you are good to go. Very, very powerful remarketing campaign. All right, now in this video, we're going to look at Bing and Yahoo ads. Okay, and as I mentioned, this is a way that you're going to expand your campaign. Once you have a campaign that's successful on Google, you can then expand that campaign and advertise on Yahoo and Bing. And the great part about it is that, well, it's funny that Bing and Yahoo pretty much just copied the exact Google AdWords model and campaign setup and everything, so makes it really easy on you. You can pretty much, if you know how to set up a campaign on Google, you know how to set up a campaign on Bing, Yahoo. Okay, so really the way I find this site, I guess the domain here is secure.bingads.microsoft.com. That is the actual domain, secure.bingads.microsoft.com. But the way that I usually find it, because I typically don't remember that entire domain, is just go to Google. Go to Google and type in Microsoft Ad Center or Bing Ads, and I'm sure you'll find this page here. So Microsoft Ad Center is what it's been known as for a long time. And looks like now they're calling it Bing Ads, okay? And it's the Yahoo Bing network. And so essentially, again, this is, just like Google, Bing is the second biggest search engine here in the U.S., and Yahoo as well would be probably the next one. So Bing and Yahoo have combined, and it's the same thing. Just like people search on Google, people search on Yahoo Bing. It's mostly people that have Yahoo accounts. But again, this is another search engine, so people are typing in the same searches. Now, what I find is that typically you get, let's say out of every 7 or 8 clicks I get on Google, maybe I get one on this one, on Yahoo Bing, right? So again, it's still an addition. So if you're spending, let's say if you're spending $1,000 a week on Google, you might only spend $100 or $200 a week on Yahoo Bing, but hey, if those are good quality leads, you potentially just increase your lead flow by 10 to 20%, which is pretty good. But again, you always start with Google first. You always kind of prove your success on Google and make sure you have a winning campaign. And then once you do, you can go move it over to Yahoo Bing to get another 10 or 20% more leads to expand your campaign. So I have my username and password in here, and I'm going to sign in. This is actually my first time signing into this new account, so this is pretty much what you'll see when you sign in. Obviously, there's nothing here just yet. And so one thing that's pretty cool here, as you can see, is that you can actually import from Google AdWords. I don't know how Google AdWords allows this, being that this is their top competitor, but apparently they do allow them to import your campaign from Google AdWords. It says here, you haven't added any campaigns yet. To get started, import your campaigns from Google AdWords or create a campaign. I guess they pretty much know that everyone who's advertising on their network has first already been advertising on Google, and that's what people do. They have success on Google, and then you expand to Yahoo Bing, just like I'm showing you how to do right now. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You could just import from Google. I'm going to be honest with you, I have not used that functionality. Call me paranoid or whatever the case may be, but I just don't really trust it. I don't really trust Google, I'm sure, will know that I moved the campaign over to here. I just don't trust that there won't be a bug when all the information gets moved over, that there's something that I wanted to set up differently in Bing, or some sort of bug that, when it got imported. So that's just me. I'm sure it could work fine. I'm sure you'd probably save yourself a half hour or 20 minutes or 15 minutes if you just did this import from Google, probably. But personally, I've never done it. So I'll just tell you that. What I do is I just go and create a campaign. And it's very, very simple, because basically what I'll do is I'll have the Google AdWords account open in another screen, and then I'll have this screen open, and it literally would just shouldn't take you long at all, right? It might just take you 10, 15, 20 minutes to set this up, copying exactly what you did from the Google AdWords. So you just go to campaign, you'd hit create a campaign, and it's all really the same tabs. I mean, literally they copied what Google AdWords, they copied Google AdWords so much. Well, I guess you copy what's working, right? So accounts and billing, the reports, the import from Google AdWords. So again, same thing here with the campaign. You literally just set up your campaign name, your time, your campaign budget, daily budget options, same thing as Google. I always select accelerated, spend your budget as quickly as possible. What language do your customers speak? English. Locations here, you can select your location, your cities, your country, whatever the case may be, same thing as in Google. And then you go here down to it's again same really functionality as Google. You go here and create your ad for this first ad group, and then choose your keywords, and boom. I mean, it's really, really self-explanatory. If you know how to set up a campaign like I showed you on Google, then you'll know how to set up a campaign on Bing ads. So I don't even think there's really a need for me to go through here and show you how to set this up, because you already know how to do it if you've set it up through Google. And so again, like I said, I'd have my Google open in the other screen, my Google AdWords account. I'd be looking at my best keywords and my best ads and all that, and I really would just move that over here. Okay, so and once you fill this in too, it actually gives you on the next page, after you hit save on this campaign, you can enter in site links the same way you can do on Google. So on the next page, they actually do let you add site links. So that's pretty cool too. But yeah, it's pretty much just self-explanatory. You take your best performing ad in Google, which you've probably tested for a few weeks at least before you're setting up this campaign. You put that ad in here, same URLs, same keywords. You look at your top keywords in Google, and you put your top keywords in here. Really, really self-explanatory. Same exact thing here. Bing has horribly copied Google AdWords, but I guess that's good for us because it makes it really, really super easy to set up the campaign. So there you have it. Set up your successful Google AdWords campaign, and then go over to Bing Ads. I always just Google Microsoft Ad Center, or if you Google Bing Ads, you'll find the domain. And you'll go here, create a new account, and very, very self-explanatory, same way you would on Google. And like I said, typically, if you're spending like $1,000 a week on Google, you would probably spend, I don't know, maybe a couple $100 that week on Bing. But you could, like we said, could get a 10 to 20% increase in your leads by doing this. So great addition, great thing to supplement your campaign. And again, if I was expanding my campaign, if I had a very successful Google AdWords campaign, probably the first thing I would implement would be remarketing on that Google AdWords campaign. And then I would set up Bing ads for that campaign as well. And then I would also do the display network with the banner ads that I've given you. So those would be the things. And the last thing, as I mentioned, the last thing I would do would be Facebook ads after all of these other options I have been implemented. Because I just find that the quality of leads from these other sources, again, this is search traffic. Keep that in mind. This Bing ads, this is people searching. And that's another thing, by the way. You want to make sure you only do a search campaign here. Okay, so on the next step, it also will after you enter all this information here, it'll give you the option. Do you want to have a search campaign or a display network campaign on Bing? Now, I've never done a display network campaign on Bing. I've never run banner ads on Bing. So make sure you're very careful. Do not check that option. Make sure you only check search campaign. For Bing and Yahoo, you only want to do search campaigns. And if you're asking, well, how come you've never done a display network campaign on Yahoo Bing? The answer is because you can get so much traffic with a display network campaign from Google that you don't need to. At least that's what I found. So I just use the Google display network, and I get more traffic than I can handle from the display network on Google, because so many websites accept Google advertising. So that's why I've never done it. And I don't know. I just don't really trust doing display network ads through Yahoo Bing. If you know what you're doing and if you tested it and tried it and you get results, that's great. But I think that's not really so much for local business. So again, make sure this is a search network only, and remember that this is search traffic, right? This is still people going into a search engine and searching for a specific need. So Yahoo Bing leads should be pretty good quality. Should be. I typically think that Google is the highest quality because you have more of the more sophisticated customer who's searching Google, knows exactly what they're looking for. Yahoo Bing might just be people who have a Yahoo account or a Bing or MSN account or something, and that's why they're searching on Yahoo Bing. But still, it's people searching for a specific need, so that's a very high quality lead. So again, as I mentioned, Google AdWords first, and then the remarketing campaign is very important, and then Bing Yahoo ads would be the next thing I would do, and then the display network on Google with the banner ads right after that. So search traffic is always going to be your highest quality traffic, so you want to start with that. Remarketing is great because you're getting to retarget people that have already showed interest and clicked on your ad and landed on your page. And by the way, the cool thing about it is you're going to be sending traffic to the same landing page, so the people who click on your ads from Yahoo Bing, they're going to land on your landing page, and guess what? Google's going to cookie them with your remarketing code, and then your remarketing ads are going to show to those people through Google. Even though they originally hit your website through Bing and Yahoo, they're going to get your remarketing ads through Google because we have the Google remarketing code on the landing page. So that's pretty cool too, that you're going to be able to remarket and retarget to these people as well. So just wanted to show you this, and this is a great way to expand your campaign, and I think you have a really good well-rounded knowledge now of how to expand a campaign successfully. So yeah, take advantage. All right, now in this video, we're going to talk about a really cool business model for you that I'm calling here specific niche targeting. And what I mean by that is this means the niches that you're going to be targeting yourself. So you've probably obviously already thought about this. Okay, well, I'm going to target attorneys, I'm going to target chiropractors, I'm going to target dentists, whatever the case may be. You've probably thought about that. I'm going to target mortgage lenders. And by the way, I've actually been asked a few times what my favorite are. Attorneys are definitely my favorite, especially because they operate in so many different areas of the law. And because if you have success for one attorney, he might actually expand into other areas of the law, which gives you more opportunity to grow with him or her as an attorney or as a firm. So attorneys are definitely my favorite. Chiropractors are also a good one. They have a pretty high value per client. I've heard a lot of people having success. I personally have not done dental implant people, but I heard dental implants are very good. Mortgage lenders are definitely a favorite of mine. And so if you notice what the common theme here is in picking your top niche to target is I like to look at who has a high value per lead and value per client, right? So obviously a mortgage lender, if he closes a refinance and makes $6,000 on that refinance or $4,000 even on that refinance, then it's pretty. Those leads are pretty valuable to them. Same thing with an attorney and so on and so forth. So again, those are the niches that I would specifically target, is the ones that have a very high value per lead and value per client. For example, someone recently mentioned like a carpet cleaning business. Should I go after and target them? Now, you can, but I personally would not, because it's more of like, when the thing is that when there's lower prices, the margins are tighter, right? So if someone's only getting $200 per job, I don't even know what a normal carpet clean would cost, $200 or whatever it would cost, or less than that. The margins are really tight. There's not a lot of room for error, and again, just the payoff is not that big. So whereas an attorney who can land someone for a $3,000 retainer, or like we said, a mortgage lender for a few $1,000s, chiropractor who has someone that comes in 3 times a week for 6 months, and it could be valued at thousands of dollars to them, right? So a dental implant, supposedly they have high ticket items in the $10,000 and up range. Another great one, that the client that someone recently just landed, a LASIK the LASIK eye thing, so people don't have to wear contacts or glasses. The LASIK eye, I guess it's not called eye surgery. Can't think of exactly how you call it, but the LASIK is again another high-end type of niche that you could target there. So those are the ones that I would definitely target. So as I mentioned in Module 1, really you just got to start with what you can get. Land your first client however you can, right? Do whatever it takes to land your first client, like I've been saying all along. Then have success for that client, right? Step 2 is land a client, have success for that client, And then you should be able to duplicate that success for other professionals in that niche in all different parts of the country. Plus, you'll have a testimonial in that niche. So that's huge too. Now, one thing is that I've gotten a question a couple times about working with, let's say, 2 chiropractors in the same area. Well, it is sort of, I would say that it is probably sort of a conflict of interest. I probably would not work with a chiropractor who's number 1 on the page and another chiropractor who I'm competing and bidding against myself when I'm running both campaigns. It's a little bit of a conflict of interest. However, absolutely, if you run a successful campaign for an attorney or chiropractor in a certain niche in one city, you could absolutely work with another one in another city, right? Or in any other part of the country, right? So for example, I recently just heard of someone who was working with real estate professionals, and they started out having success for their first couple of clients, and now they're up to like 30 something clients because they specifically used this model. They specifically targeted that niche, and they got results for the people in that niche, and then they had testimonials from people in that niche. So it only made sense that they go after and target it. I mean, it's so easy to say like, hey, look, here's 3 testimonials from people in the last, couple months that I got tons of leads for, and look how much their business is growing. It's pretty easy to get a test run once you have those kind of results and testimonials to show. So now also, just so you know too, you don't have to, you could target a niche right now without ever even landing a client, but typically I like to have proven success in a certain industry, and then once I have that proven success, I feel very comfortable and confident, and it usually is much easier to land other clients in that same profession in different parts of the country. Okay? And here's the best part, is that once you've done it once in a certain city, you know exactly, you've tested your ads, you found your winning ad, so the second time you do it again, you're already going to have a winning ad starting out the gate, right? You typically will just change the location name to whatever this other location is, but for the most part, the base of your ad is going to stay the same. Your keywords are pretty much going to stay the same for the most part, so it's actually way less work for you, and actually starting out the gate getting way better results for your clients, right? That the second and third client that you take on, when you already have the knowledge of what ads and keywords are the best, and these other people are in different cities. So again, it's easier for you. You already have the work done. It's proven to get results in one area, so it should have, it should get results in another area. And so I mean, it's just really a great model. It's really a great model. So have success for one client, duplicate that, but don't compete with them in their certain area. That's sort of a conflict of interest, like I said. But so what I would do is actually I would go out into the next area, to the next closest city to you, because this way, when you're showing them the testimonial from your first client, they'll say, oh, okay, that city is only 60 miles away from here. He had success for them in that city, so kind of try to stay in proximity. It's a little more difficult if you're in, New York and you're trying to land clients in California. Obviously you can do it, and if you have proven success for people, you should still be able to have success for them out there. But just this whole thing of proximity seems to make a big deal with people as far as people doing business. So if you're closer to someone and you have proven success for someone in a nearby city, they're going to feel like you're more likely to have success for them. So then again, when we get into duplicating your success, here's what I would do then, for example, right? So let's say you get great results for some attorneys or some chiropractors or mortgage lenders, whatever the case may be. Then you would buy your own domain and create a landing page specific to that niche. For example, like you could buy the domain, let's say attorneyinternetleads.com. I don't even know if that's available. I'm just giving you an example, right? Anything like that. And then what happens is, so then you would buy that domain, and so now you're targeting attorneys. When they get the email from you, or whenever your communication is to them, they're going to see in the footer of your email, attorneyinternetleads.com. That's like, okay, cool. If you're an attorney, you're like, oh wow, okay, at least these guys look like they specialize in internet leads for attorneys, right? So something like that. And then you have your landing page on there, and again, you just modify the landing page that I've pre-written for you in your niche. Depending on when you watch this video, it's either already in your landing page builder in your saved drafts, or it should be there very, very soon, depending on when you watch this video again. So you can just use that, just tweak it a little bit to make it specific to attorneys, which is really simple to do. Maybe have your own little logo made up or whatever you want to do there to make it look nice and make it look professional, and then target attorneys with a domain like attorneyinternetleads.com is very, very powerful. So Here's the problem. So I want to talk about now that you have this landing page specific to that niche. So you have success in a niche. You put up this landing page to target other people in that niche because you know you're going to have success again. Now here's the problem. Like for example, for attorneys and chiropractors, the problem that I found is that it's a little tough to find Google keywords that only attorneys search for without getting people that are searching looking to find an attorney. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? So if someone's typing in attorney into Google, that's someone searching for an attorney. Now, what's a keyword that an attorney would type that nobody else would type, right? Because you got to avoid all these bad clicks. So you could bid on the keywords, let's say attorney leads or attorney internet marketing or whatever the case may be. But you just got to be really careful. So here's the other solution. What I would probably recommend, again, you can do a very targeted Google campaign, but you want to be careful of these bad clicks. So make sure that you're very specific, with your keywords, something that only the attorneys would type in there. But what's great in this case is actually Facebook ads. Facebook ads is a great alternative in this case. Now, again, I don't usually say that. I find that Facebook ads in general will get a lot less leads and a lower quality of lead. I'm only talking about here in this specific situation, trying to target attorneys and using Facebook ads to try to target attorneys or let's say, for example, chiropractors. And the reason why Facebook ads is great for that is because you can actually target people who have the word attorney in their profile, or attorney at law, or ESQ like Esquire, or lawyer in their profile, and you only target those people. So that's pretty cool that to only be able to target those people and only be able to target them in a specific area. So that's what's good about Facebook is in general being able to target people based on what they have in their profile and their likes and interests, etc. So that's why I would say in this case you might even want to try Facebook ads over Google ads, because unless you know of some keywords, and by the way, if you do know of some keywords that attorneys are typing into Google that no one else but an attorney would be typing into Google, let me know, because those are probably some good keywords to be bidding on. But again, Facebook ads is a great alternative, and I'll show you in the next video how to use Facebook ads, and the way I show you how to set it up. It's very, very simple. I'll do a little walkthrough for you, and I'll show you how to set it up to actually be able to target attorneys in certain area. But again, as I've mentioned previously, when you're doing local business clients, campaigns for your local business clients, you'd first start with Google. And then as you expand, you'd expand from Google search to Google remarketing. You'd add in there, you'd do Google Display Network with banner ads. And then I would actually do Yahoo MSN. And only then, if the client is getting as much traffic as they possibly can from all of those other sources, only then would I do Facebook ads for one of my clients. But again, in this case, the only reason why it's a great alternative, in my opinion, is because you can target attorneys and lawyers and people like that haven't mentioned directly in their profile what they're doing. So I'll show you the Facebook ad setup in the next video, but this is a really cool business model. I hope you can kind of see the power in this, buying a domain and creating a landing page specific to that niche. First, obviously, landing some clients and getting results for them, and then you can just easily duplicate the campaign. You have the ads, you have the keywords, you have everything already done, so it really practically takes almost none of your time, which is just amazing. And like I said, you're going to be getting better results for these new clients right out the gate because, again, you have the keywords and ads that convert great, and you're just going to tweak it a little bit for their city. So really, really powerful business model. Again, it's more of an advanced model because you'd probably want to get started and have success for clients, and then go ahead and create this domain and landing page, and then start targeting that exact niche. But it's a great thing to keep in mind and be aware of, and kind of have this in mind when you're targeting niches. Okay, now in this video I'm going to show you a walkthrough of Facebook advertising, which is very easy, very simple and straightforward to set up, and you can just log into any Facebook account that you want here and create your new ad. And as I mentioned, what I'm going to show you here is actually how to use this for yourself. So it says here, choose a Facebook destination. Let me type that in real quick. I'll do www.attorneyinternetleads.com, assuming that was the domain I owned there. Okay, and what I'm going to show you here how to do is, like I mentioned in the last video, is how to actually use this to generate, let's say you've had success for an attorney, you then put up a landing page that's specific for you targeting attorneys, and now you're saying, hey, you know what, I want to try to have some inbound calls coming to me. Instead of just doing only outbound prospecting, of course now you have to have a budget for this. If you don't have a budget, then just continue to do your outbound prospecting. But if you have a little bit of a budget and you want to give this a test, then you'd basically create your landing page, and you can go in here and set up these ads on Facebook, as I mentioned in a previous video where I explained why in this case it might be good to use Facebook advertising as your method. Okay, and now again, as I mentioned, what you're going to learn right now, I mean, it's pretty straightforward basic setup of a Facebook advertising campaign. So anytime you need to do Facebook advertising for any purpose in the future, you'll learn how to do it right here in this video. Very simple and straightforward. Like I said, I'll give you a couple tips that I've found along the way, as I've done quite a bit of Facebook advertising. And as I mentioned, for my clients, it's definitely one of the last things that I would do. And I just find that the quality of the leads is a lot lower than Google. But again, for this purpose of trying to target attorneys, because we know that they have the word attorney or lawyer or Esquire in their profile, so in this case we would potentially test Facebook ads. And one thing to mention here that's really important is that you're obviously going to be split testing a lot, same way as with Google, right? With Google, you're split testing ads. With Facebook, you're going to split test ads. And again, it could be very, very common that you have one Facebook ad that gets a lot more clicks and gives you a much lower cost per click than your other Facebook ads. So same model in that perspective, where you are going to be testing multiple ads and finding what your winner is. Now, the difference here with Facebook ads is that you actually get to upload an image. So that's one of the biggest things that you're actually going to be testing is different images. In fact, that's going to be the biggest factor of people clicking on your ad, because it makes it stand out the most. So that's what people have found, that split testing the image is what's going to make the biggest difference. So try a few different images. So maybe again, create 3 different ads here on Facebook with 3 different images and see which one pulls the best. For the headline, again, matter of split testing different ads and seeing what the winner is. But let's say, for example, right, so using this model, following this model of if I bought the domain, let's say attorney internet leads, and I had success for an attorney in Las Vegas, and I said, okay, well, the next closest city in the state of Nevada is in Reno. So, I know that people in Reno will probably realize that if I had success for an attorney in Las Vegas, which is a much, much bigger city than Reno, that I could probably have success for attorneys in Reno, right? So what I would probably do is, again, start small. I wouldn't recommend going after all attorneys all over the country from anywhere. I'd recommend starting in an area nearby you, or some, at least targeting maybe a city that is a major city near you, where there could be a lot of attorneys that have money, whatever the case may be. So let's say, again, in this case, like I said, I had success in Las Vegas for an attorney. I'm going to go up to Reno, and I'm going to say, write an ad, again, specifically, this is, again, remember, same kind of model too, as far as the ad writing, right? So if we're targeting attorneys in Reno, we probably want to have in the headline, Reno attorney leads, right? Or something to this effect, right? Like best Reno attorney leads might be one headline that I test. Another one, another headline I might test in a different ad might be leads for Reno attorneys, right? Something like that. And then again, with the text, you're going to split test. So use kind of the same basic ad writing formula that that I've been showing you for Google AdWords. Use the same basic formula for writing your ads here. But again, the main thing is going to be this image that you get to upload here. And so it'll show you a little preview of your ad with the image and all that. Now, a couple things. It used to be a couple of years ago, a lot of people put out reports and things saying, oh yeah, we split tested different images, and we find that, showing an image of a woman, wearing, how should I put this, not much clothes gets you a very high click-through rate. Yeah, well, obviously. Okay, so, but the problem is that Facebook doesn't allow that anymore. Okay, so you can't have any kind of images. What I found is they disapprove a lot of ads. So I'm glad I remembered to mention that to you, is don't get discouraged if your Facebook ad gets disapproved. They might disapprove you. I've gotten disapproved because they thought that my picture wasn't relevant to what my ad was, when actually I thought it was actually pretty relevant. I can't remember exactly what the example was at this time, but I remember thinking, like, what do they mean it's not relevant? How do they disapprove me for that? So you could get disapproved. So your picture, your image should be somewhat relevant to your ad. But it should also be something that stands up, so something that's maybe zoomed in. So again, just test a few different images, test a few different headlines, test a few different ads here, and yeah, same process. Always split test. Again, for the location, I would go to the city, and so instead of so I would do city Reno, Nevada. Okay. So yeah, now I'm just targeting, like it says, 182,000 people. For the age, and now remember, I'm targeting only now, this is a campaign I'm going to be targeting attorneys and lawyers and things like that, right? I've had success for attorneys. I set up my landing page. Now I'm ready to target them. So the age, I'm probably going to choose age, 30 and up, realistically, right? I don't really want, not a whole lot of 21-year-old attorneys, and I want to make sure that I'm not, getting people who liked an attorney's fan page or something like that, and then my ad shows up for them, something like that. So anyway, I know that my ideal age is going to be 30 and up, probably for an attorney at the very least. I mean, you might even want to say 30, 33 or something like that. And then as far as the precise interests here, okay, so this is where you're going to be typing in, and I never do broad categories like this, quite frankly. I never choose the broad categories. I always do precise interests. Again, I find that it's hard enough to get a high quality lead as it is on Facebook, so I don't want to give them a broad category to work with here. I want to have pretty specific interest, and this is the interest. Precise interest is really kind of like your keywords, but these are keywords that they might either have in their profile, or if they click the like button, so something like that, then it might appear for their interest. So let's say I do attorney. Okay, so they're attorneys in the United States. So this might be someone who liked some Facebook fan page of attorneys in the United States, right? Something like that, which probably they might be an attorney if they did that. Or in this case, this seems like a good one, right? So I'd pick this one. So look, as you type in the keyword, what's great about Facebook too is kind of like all your options here that get any kind of significant volume will actually just drop down for you. So what I would do here is, here you go. So attorney at law is definitely one. Then I'd type in attorney again, and I see here that just the word attorney by itself. Okay, I'll keep typing in. So I type in attorney again. Attorneys in the district attorney, attorney general. No, I wouldn't do that. Attorney at law. Yes, I'd have that one. Let's see here. I just type in the word attorney again. Ace attorney, attorney general of Mexico. No. Associate attorney. No, I wouldn't pick any of these. And then attorney in the United States, I'd probably pick this one. So that's all that I would do for attorney. Then I would go and look for lawyer. Okay, so then there's a lot of people who have lawyer here. I'll press lawyer again. National Lawyers Guild. Lawyers of that. So again, this I got the major ones here already in my search. So lawyers in Poland, no. Lawyer referral service, probably not. Lawyers Without Borders. Yeah, so again, I think I pretty much got the major ones here for an attorney or lawyer. And again, you can always expand your campaign later, but you don't want to go too broad, especially with Facebook here. Like, I wouldn't want to do lawyer referral service or volunteer, Lawyers Without Borders. I mean, maybe it is mostly lawyers that click on that, but I'd be afraid that there are a lot of people that are liking Lawyers Without Borders, like just normal people that say, oh, Lawyers Without Borders, they're doing something great, let's click like for them, and then all of a sudden our ad shows to those people who clicked like, right? So I like to stick to this, like attorney at law, attorney at law, lawyer, National Lawyers Guild, okay, and maybe this one. If anything, I would delete this one, attorneys in the United States, but I'd probably leave that in. So these seem kind of pretty specific, pretty niche. Now, unfortunately, it wouldn't target a very big audience in Reno, because Reno's a small city and there's not a ton of attorneys or people like this that have this in their profile, but it is something. So if you get some clicks, it would be better than nothing. Even if you only spend a few bucks a day, at least you know that they'd be pretty targeted leads. Okay, typically you'd want to have a much bigger audience than this, and if we were targeting, let's say here, if I take out Reno, and instead if I target, let's say I targeted the entire state of Nevada. Oh, okay, I have it on city. So if I did state and I did Nevada, okay, then I'd have a bigger audience there. So you obviously want to get a bigger audience when you can. You might want to target, a state or whatever the case may be. But again, bottom line is this: is if people don't click on your ad, you don't get charged, right? So this would be a very small campaign, very targeted campaign. But again, and then as you kind of expand, if you wanted to, again, I wouldn't recommend starting out this big, but you could just do the entire country of the United States. Okay, now if we did the entire country, look at all these people that have this stuff in there, age 33 and over, with all these that have all this stuff in their profile. So that's a much, much bigger audience there. So, but I would start again, like I said, start small and make sure you get results and scale up, right? Spend $50, spend $100 on Facebook ads, see what results you get, make sure you're getting results, and then scale up from there. Maybe, I've seen sometimes where you get results in one certain city and you don't get results in another city, right? So that's another thing that you might want to look into. So you test a certain city for a few days. If you don't get any results, maybe test another city that you were thinking of and see if you get results there. So this is really simple. Facebook ads, as you can see, is really, really simple to use. It's great that you can target people by age. You can't do that in Google, obviously. Google doesn't know how old someone is that is searching in the Google browser. But on Facebook, when you sign up for Facebook, they know how old you are because you enter your age in there. Facebook is also good if you want to only target women for a particular thing, or you want to only target men for a particular product or offering or service. But again, like I said, overall, I think the Facebook quality lead is much lower than Google. But there are some very cool targeting things here. These are things you can't do on Google. Choose men or women. Choose a certain age range that you want to target. Choose specifically people that have this stuff in their profile. So it's good to know about Facebook ads, and it's good to know that you want to use it, but I would just use it with caution. Start small, make sure you get results, and then scale up. I don't do any of this kind of stuff, the connections, the friends or connections. I don't do the broad categories. Literally, all I do is select my age, and if I want a gender, choose by gender. I choose my city, whatever I want here, and I usually split test a couple different ads. So after you hit save here on the bottom, then basically you're going to go and create another ad that's going to be very similar and just going to have a different kind of image. And by the way, you can easily create similar ads. So once you create this one, you'll be able to easily create a similar ad to this one, and you won't have to go through every single thing step by step again. So as far as down here, I wouldn't touch any of these connections or friends of connections or anything of that stuff. For your budget, again, you could set it to whatever you want, $25, $50 a day. Your cost per click, they actually give you a suggested bid, which is cool. I would always stay to the mid to high range of their suggested bid. Or actually, different people have different opinions on that. I stay to the mid to high range of the bid just because I want my ads to get shown quite a bit. If you try to bid on the low end of their bid, then, not only are you not going to have a big target range if you're only targeting one city, but your ads might not even show all the time because you're bidding low. So I like to bid in the mid to high range of what they recommend, especially for this kind of a purpose. And I find that my ads get shown a lot more, and you could potentially even get a higher quality lead, is what I found. So you can bid low if you want and test it and try it out, but I'm just telling you what I do is I bid in the mid range here. So if they're suggesting that my bid would be $1.30 to $3.40, I'd probably put my bid somewhere around here at $2.50, let's say. Or if I wanted to get a lot of traffic right away, real fast, I'd maybe set it to $3.40, exactly what they say here. So and that would be it. You can review your ad or just place the order here, and then you can create a similar ad once you finish this. Very simple, very straightforward. You can see it has its purpose, Facebook ads, but as I said, Google is number one. It's not even close as far as quality of lead and when performing for your clients. But for these purposes, having age, having gender, having these precise interests, that's pretty cool. So and your cost per click, as you can see, is typically much, much lower as well. But man, like I said, you could pay $20 a click on Google and $3 a click on Facebook, but typically I still find that you get more leads and higher quality leads from Google. Again, that's maybe a dramatic example. Maybe it's you spend $10 a click on Google and $2 or $3 on Facebook. But what I'm saying is, in that scenario, I typically find higher quality leads and more leads that I get from Google. So but I just wanted to show you this. It's very good for you to be familiar with this and see what purpose it's for. See what you can use this for. If anytime you have something where you want to target specific professions, specific age groups, things like that, then Facebook ads should definitely be a consideration that you give a test to. And you split test the ads the same way. Remember, the number one thing to split test is the image, but you split test your headline and text ad as well. Test a few different ads. Find your winner. Same way. You'll see which one gets the highest click-through rate, and you'll also see that Facebook rewards you as well. The highest click-through rate ad will have the lowest cost per click. So after a couple days, you'll be able to pause your lowest performing ones and keep your highest performing ones. Same kind of strategy we've been using. So now you get to see what Facebook ads looks like, and just use it with caution, like I said, but it does definitely have its purpose. So now you'll know when you need to use that. All right, this is a very, very exciting video here because we are going to talk about something that's very controversial, and in my opinion, this is the most advanced Google AdWords strategy. So I'm going to actually walk you through exactly what that strategy is, how people are using it right now to make millions of dollars, why it's so powerful, and actually how you can even use it for local businesses as well. But I do want to give you fair warning. Everything I'm telling you in this video right now is for informational purposes only, based off of what I know that many people are doing out there right now. I'm not advising you to do this strategy. You have to take caution and note that Google has very specific policies that you must follow and abide by. So if you do plan on implementing this, which again I don't advise, especially unless you're very advanced level and have done a lot of campaigns before. But again, make sure that you know all of Google's policies, and by no means is this me advising you to do this strategy. I just want to be sharing this information with you about this controversial advanced strategy because it's a very powerful strategy and many people are using it to make millions of dollars. So I feel like I owe it to you to at least let you know about it. And I think you're going to think that this is pretty cool. At least the whole concept of it and how people are doing it's pretty amazing. So let's get into the most advanced AdWords strategy. Now, this is not necessarily a local business strategy. In fact, it oftentimes works better for not local businesses. It works better a lot of times in big campaigns where you're selling a product or service all over the country or all over the world even. But it can be used for local businesses, and I'll explain exactly how. And like I mentioned, companies are making millions of dollars using this strategy, and very few people even know about it. It's really amazing. It used to be the best affiliate marketing trick before Google banned affiliate marketing. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, don't ever try to promote affiliate products through some sort of affiliate link. Don't promote MLMs. Don't promote anything that's very hypey, saying, you know, you can make $20,000 in 1 month with no money and no credit, right? Google also doesn't like the acai berries and all these crazy kind of miracle drinks that people used to claim would cure everything and would sell like crazy through Google. Okay, that kind of stuff they don't like. But I want to show you how this used to be such a powerful strategy for affiliate marketers. Okay, and the strategy is called owning the most profitable keywords. Okay, owning the most profitable keywords. So let's say that you have a campaign, and specifically you have a few top keywords in that campaign that you have found are extremely valuable. They have a huge return on investment from those keywords, okay? For example, let's say that you sold a type of health food product called Green Vibrance, which is actually something that I drink every day in my morning smoothie. I have a big scoop of Green Vibrance. It's one of the most powerful, the most powerful green foods, green supplements, gives you lots of energy, very good for you. And I put a huge scoop of that in my morning smoothie every morning, and I recommend you do the same. But back to the matter at hand here. Let's say you sold this product, Green Vibrance, which is a pretty expensive product, and you found that you were making, let's say, $1,000 a day from the keyword Green Vibrance. So you're selling Green Vibrance, and people that specifically go searching for Green Vibrance, let's say, you're getting clicks for a couple bucks a click, and every 10 clicks turns into a sale, and so it costs you 20 bucks to make a sale, and your profit margin on every sale is 40 bucks. So you're making 20 bucks, and you want to make as many sales as you can make at 20 bucks, right? So you want to spend as much as you can spend, because you know for every dollar you spend on this keyword, Green Vibrance, you're making double what you're spending, right? So you want to spend as much as you possibly can. So let's say you might run this campaign for Green Vibrance, and you might find that you're bidding on keywords like health food products, and you're not making a great return on investment because that's not as specific. But if someone is specifically typing in Green Vibrance, and you're selling the product Green Vibrance, and there's not that much other competition selling it, and you're making a real nice profit on that, okay? Well, if that was the case, what if you started a new company? You incorporated a new company. You set up a new website for that company, a new Google account, a new credit card with a different billing address, and then bid on the same keyword again, Green Vibrance. So let's say you have a website that you've been selling Green Vibrance on called Green Vibrance, Green Vibrance Health Online Health Store.com, whatever. Just made that up, okay? Green Vibrance Online Health Store.com, and you're position number 1 on Google when people type in Green Vibrance, and you're making a killing on that keyword. Now you say, you know what? Well, instead of letting my competitors go against me and be in position number 2 and position number 3, why don't I start a new corporation? Maybe you get a different business partner, or you have someone else that start this new corporation, right? You put up a new website, this time called, Best Green Vibrance, prices.com or whatever, and you have a new Google campaign that's sending traffic to this new website. So now you're positioned not only number 1 on the page, you're positioned number 1 and number 2, and you could potentially have almost doubled your profits. Do you see this? Now, keep in mind, Google has a very stringent policy. If you're an advertiser on Google, you can't open up 5 different accounts and just start sending traffic to the same website. Or if they find that you have, the same billing address and the same credit card being used on multiple accounts, they're probably going to check you out, and you have a very high likelihood of getting shut down, right? But what they're doing in this case, what many people are doing right now, and again, I don't recommend doing this. This is, a very advanced strategy. You got to really know what you're doing, and you are risking having your main account banned. So that's the risk here. If you don't do this, potentially from a different IP address and a different company and different website and different Google account and different credit card, if you aren't careful in what you're doing, Google could ban your main account. So you could lose your main source of income. So there's a lot of risk here. You got to really be careful and really know what you're doing. I know the people that are doing this are very, very careful in how they do it. I can tell you that. So very important, I want to mention that. So again, now you'd be position number 1 and number 2 on the page. And guess what? If you were still profitable, well, what if you opened another company and then you were number 3 on the page or number 4? So I've heard rumors of people that out of the top 7 or 8 spots for a certain keyword, they're like 5 of the top 8 spots. I mean, they just found keywords that are valuable, and they just duplicated their success, found a different business partner, a different business partner, a different business partner, opened up multiple different businesses under different names, different websites, different credit cards, different Google accounts, and now they're getting a piece of the action on 5 different positions out of the top 8 positions in Google. I mean, this is just amazing. I think you can start to see the power in here. Okay, now as I mentioned, as a big warning here for you, Google does not allow an advertiser to have multiple accounts on the same keyword. So I am not recommending that you use this strategy. I simply want to let you in on an advanced strategy that I know is being used by many people that are making a killing with it. It's a very advanced strategy, and I know people are making a killing with it. And affiliate marketers used to make a ton of money with this for that same reason. So let's say you were promoting an affiliate offer. Let's say back in 2006, you were promoting an acai berry affiliate offer, and you found that for a couple of keywords, for every $10 you spent, you were making back $20. Well, again, same thing. Opened up 5 different companies, 5 different Google accounts, 5 different credit cards and billing addresses. I've heard of someone who had everybody in their family, all his friends and family had Google accounts in their name with different billing addresses and different credit cards, and he was just reimbursing them all and giving them a little piece of the pie. And so I mean, it's just amazing. Now, again, affiliate marketing is banned now from Google. You really don't want to be doing that. But it was just amazing when it was like the Wild West, and I can tell you that it still does go on to some extent today, just not so much in affiliate marketing. And people are still finding little crazy tricks and ways to make it work, even with affiliate marketing. But for the most part, again, people are finding profitable keywords for a certain business and then duplicating them. Now, let me show you. I just want to show you on Google, like kind of like an example, a crazy example, like what this would look like. Okay, so let's go to Google here and let's type in Green Vibrance. Okay, Green Vibrance. Okay, so now I type in Green Vibrance, and it's here on Amazon. It's here, Natural Healthy Concepts, Vitamin Shop. So what if I told you, and I don't think this is really the case, but what if I told you that Natural Health Concepts, Vitamin Shop, and VitaCoast, position number 2, Amazon is obviously Amazon. Position number 2, naturalhealthyconcepts.com. Okay, position number 3, vitaminshop.com. Position number 4, vitacoast.com. Position number 5, iherb.com. Okay? What if I told you that 4 of these websites were owned by the same person behind the scenes, right? Different companies and different partners and all that. But what if I told you that? Would you believe me? I mean, again, I don't think this is probably the case for this one, but this is an example of what it would be like. Imagine you found that you were profitable in here, number 2, you were profitable number 3, and you just kept opening up different websites and selling the same product because it just was so profitable for those specific keywords. So you might only be bidding on 3 keywords. You might start off with one campaign with 100 keywords and find, you know what? These are the few keywords that I'm getting all my sales from. Right? These are the keywords that are really producing. And when you're, by the way, with local businesses, most of our prospects are calling in. But when you're selling a product online, it's very easy to track the conversion. It's much easier to track a conversion to a sale, right? Because people are not calling in typically to place their order. Typically, they're ordering right there on the website. And so you can see which keywords. You actually have a Google tracking code, Google conversion code, and you can see from which keywords generated the most sales. So it's from a conversion and tracking standpoint, it's actually cool to have a product that you can sell where people just order right there online. Unfortunately, with local businesses, the majority of the leads come from phone calls, which Google does not have a good tracking system for phone calls. So unfortunately, it's difficult to track. But I wanted to give you an example here, just getting back to the point. So you track that with the conversion tracking, and you find that these 3 keywords are producing huge profits and the other 97 keywords are not that profitable. So you just focus on those 3 keywords and set up these multiple companies with multiple websites all bidding on that same keyword. So, I mean, just really, truly unbelievable strategy if you can see the power in that. I mean, you could really make a huge profit. You just find one profitable keyword, and then again, it's a risky strategy. I don't recommend doing it. It's a very advanced strategy, and it violates Google's policies, I'm pretty sure, unless you really do it the right way, like have someone else be completely the owner of the business and set it up completely under his name and all that. And I don't know, maybe they're paying you under the table. You know what I mean? It's really, I'm just telling you how I heard of this working for many people. Okay, but like I said, Google does not allow this, and I'm not recommending you use this strategy. I simply want to let you in on how many people are using this. So now let's talk about how this strategy can be used for a local business, right? Because that's probably the first opportunity that you'd have to work on this strategy. If you ever got to this strategy. And again, I have to really cover myself and protect here. I got to be really careful, right? I can't be teaching something that's violating Google policies, but at the same time, this is just such an incredible strategy that I know so many people are using that I just feel like I have to tell you about it, okay? So here's how a local business can use it. Let's say, for example, that a chiropractor in Reno owns Reno West Chiropractic. Well, maybe they open up on the other side of town with a different business partner, and I actually know of someone who has another chiropractic office on the other side of town with a different business partner, and it's a different corporation that he owns separately with that other partner, separate from his original location, right? So, and I've seen this. I've seen people who have Reno West and Reno East, and they're both on Google, right? So that's a way, just having multiple locations with different business owners. And here's the difference, right? So some people would have 5 locations, and if it's the same owner, then technically the way you're supposed to do it would be to just have one account running ads, and in your ad you would say 5 convenient Reno locations, right? But if you have a separate partnership and a separate owner on one of your other locations, then you might want to tell that other owner, hey, you set up a separate website, you set up the Google account with your credit card and billing address, and then you'll get reimbursed as the money comes back in. And now let's be number 1 with Reno West Chiropractic and number 2 with Reno East Chiropractic. And of course, you're going to only be having your ad show when people search from a 20 to 50 mile radius. They're using the Google Places integrated in your Google AdWords ad, as I mentioned in previous videos. So, there'll be maybe there's some overlap depending on how big your area is. Maybe sometimes if someone's searching from the west side of town, they'll only see the Reno West ad. If they're searching from the east side of town, they're only going to see the Reno East ad. But someone in the middle might see the Reno West and the Reno East, and now you're dominating 2 of the positions, and they have the choice of which one they want to go to, right? So again, it's just owning a keyword. Let's talk about another example, mortgage lenders and realtors. So mortgage lenders can have multiple branches, and each loan officer and each realtor, same thing with real estate companies, right? Like if there's a Coldwell banker, there's usually 5 different Coldwell bankers in town. So just because one Coldwell Banker branch runs Google AdWords doesn't mean that the other Coldwell Banker branch can't run Google AdWords, right? So same thing with mortgage brokers. I've seen many mortgage brokers where there's in Google AdWords, there's the same company bidding 3 times on the same keyword in the mortgage niche, because these local loan officers, they're like independent business owners. They're licensed by that mortgage company, but doesn't mean that they can't run their own PPC campaigns. So that's another thing. So for example, let's say you are in Coldwell Banker and you make a commission from your realtors underneath you performing really well. Well, you can have one realtor open up a campaign, and if it's profitable, have another realtor from the other office on the other side of town open up a campaign bidding on that same keyword. And then now Coldwell Banker is number 1, number 2, and number 3 for these high profit keywords. Let's say it's in a high end area, in a luxury homes, where a sale can be worth a $50,000 commission, a sale of a $2 million home, right? So those might be areas where it might be very profitable for a realtor and a mortgage lender to dominate those niches, those areas when people search. So again, they have to be very careful and cautious about how they do this. But again, it is possible, and this is a way where it might, and this might not even violate Google policies, because loan officers are individual contractors. So if you do it the right way, and these individual loan officers are separated and are their own independent kind of contractors, same thing with realtors, this probably could fly. This version of it. But again, everything I'm telling you, you need to check Google's policies and do at your own risk there. Now let's talk about a really interesting one, how attorneys can use this strategy. And this is really advanced and a really cool strategy that I've seen many attorneys actually use. And so let's say that you are a DUI attorney in Reno, and you know that there are some keywords that are just very profitable. You're making a lot of money on your DUI business, and it's mostly from Google. So you say, man, I wish I could not only be number 1 on Google, I wish I could be number 2 on Google. And let's say that you go to a seminar with other DUI attorneys from all over the country. And let's say that five DUI attorneys get together for dinner, and they say, hey, we're all making great money from Google bidding on DUI attorney keywords. Why don't we all get together, form a new corporation called DUIDefenseAttorneys.com, and we'll run PPC. And so this way we can have 2 positions out of the top 3. Since we're all already, advertising on Google's ourselves and it's profitable, let's set up DUI defense attorneys to get another source of income from Google. And what we'll do is we'll set up a separate company, we'll have a separate answering service, answering the phones, and they'll ask them, what state are you located in? And we'll run, there are 5 attorneys located in 5 different states, and they say, we'll run our ads in these 5 different states. We'll have an operator answer the phone, and they'll say, what state are you located in? And whatever state they're located in, it'll be transferred to the attorney in that state. And so maybe they split the cost and go in on this. So this is something I've actually seen done. I've seen these different types of attorneys go in on a business like this together, let's say 5 of them, and they run ads in their 5 states, and they have someone answer the call, as a separate, like, hello, thank you for calling DUI defense attorneys, what state are you located in? And they tell them the state, and then they kind of transfer it to the attorney in that state. So again, I don't know exactly what the rules are on this, but it sure is a powerful strategy, and I can tell you I've seen many attorneys that have done this, and this can just be a way. And by the way, this is also a way of selling leads. By the way, there are many marketers that would set up a company, let's say, called DUIDefenseAttorneys.com. Now, attorneys, technically, to sell leads to attorneys, technically you're supposed to be an attorney. So let's say you're a marketer, you partner with an attorney, and let's say you partner with an attorney in your area who's a DUI defense attorney, and you say, hey, I'll partner with you, I'll set up the website, and I'll sell you the leads at a discount, but then we'll run ads all over the country, and you can sell the leads to the other attorneys in other states. So this is how people sell leads too, by the way. They set up a website, let's say, called DUIDefenseAttorneys.com, and you get 5 attorneys in 5 different states that are looking for for DUI defense leads, and you sell those, and every time a lead comes in that area, that lead gets sold to the attorney in that area who signed on with you. So that's actually a lead generation strategy. And again, it's a very advanced strategy. I do not recommend starting out selling leads like that. It's very difficult. You got to really know what you're doing. You got to have success in a certain industry first. So, have success in your own local area with DUI leads before you go selling DUI leads all over the country. But I just want to let you in on this strategy, and it's really cool how you can use actually this crazy strategy, how attorneys are using it for local business as well. So again, now that attorney in the state can be number one with his own account and number two with DUIDefenseAttorney.com. And I mean, this is just a total domination strategy. Okay, so I mean, wow, this is just such a powerful strategy. But I just want to say in closing, I can't be recommending that you use this strategy because you could have your main account banned from Google. Do not come running back to me saying, hey, Tayl0R, I tried that advanced strategy and my account got banned from Google and now we don't have any source of income. Like, I'm telling you now, I told you so, okay? This is your fair warning right now. Everything you just learned was for informational purposes only. If you try to implement this strategy and you get you or your client's accounts banned from Google, you understand that you are responsible, and I gave you fair warning here of the risks involved, okay? So it's a very powerful strategy. I wanted you to know about it, but you also need to be aware of the risks. So many people that are doing this, they're very advanced marketers. They've been advertising on Google for years. They realize the risks involved, and they're very careful and cautious about how they do it. So I wanted to give you fair warning, but I hope you can see the power and I hope this kind of opens your mind to some incredible ways that people have been leveraging their businesses and making tons of money using Google. It's like mind-blowing, the strategy, when I think about how powerful it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video.